Joining us now is the woman who inspired this, the co-founder of the Little Princess Trust, Wendy Tarpley-Morris. Welcome to you. It's really, really lovely to meet you. You must have been over the moon when you saw these images going viral of this plaque with Harry Styles. Did you know about it beforehand?
No, we didn't. Yeah, of course we were ecstatic when it happened, but a little while back, some of his management team contacted the charity and said that he'd expressed an interest in supporting us. And so we gave some information and some details to them, and it was just left that if anything was to happen, they would come back to us, and then on Friday it all happened. Yeah, it did.
I mean, everybody's talking about it now, but you've been working away for 10 years. A very personal reason, obviously, why you started this.
Yeah. Well, we founded the charity in memory of my daughter Hannah. Unfortunately, she passed away when she was 5 years old, but before she passed away, she had some chemotherapy treatment and obviously lost her hair. And it was just an area that we thought that there was very little importance placed on and very little help available. So after she passed away, with the help of her school and some friends, we bought a wig for somebody, and from there, the whole thing has just snowballed. We've now, I think the more we helped, the more people wanted to give to it, and we're now helping around
5,000 wigs opening.
Yeah, nearly approaching 5,000. We've 1,000 in the last year.
If somebody wants to do it, what do they have to do?
Well, if they want the help from us, they need to contact the charity, and the details are on our website, or they can probably get it from the hospital staff.
We'll link
but,
it.
But if people want to, well, after we set the charity up, people started sending us their hair. So we sort of found a way to use the hair that's sent to us, and now we really successfully make lovely wigs out of hair donations. There's the absolute minimum that we can use is 7 inches.
Right.
But anything over and above that is we are really appealing for. Ideally 12 inches or more. Right. If it's 7 inches, it can be used, but it loses a few inches in the knotting and the wig making process. So ideally, as long as possible.
So you want it to be clean and in a ponytail?
Clean, thoroughly dry, in a ponytail.
And then the ponytail.
Or plait, ideally.
Yeah.
Or several.
Well done. What a wonderful
Have you got Harry's hair yet? Has it arrived?
It hasn't arrived yet. There are sort of there's plans in place, I think, to get it to us safely. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Thank you.
Amazing, incredible work.
Yeah, well done, you.
And the reason all of this is why we're doing this today.
All of that, though, Father Christmas and his elves might be busy in the North Pole making toys, but down in the South Pole, there's some people hard at work there too, aren't there?
Yeah, Port Lockroy is 9,000 miles away in Antarctica and is the world's most southern post office, affectionately known as the Penguin Post Office.
Oh, do you know what? This is one of my dreams to go to this place. It's one of the most remote places on the planet, and employees who work there endure freezing temperatures with no running water or flushing toilet. Actually, I don't want to go.
No, you can
change my mind.
You can pop on the ships as they go through.
Oh,
you can pop on there for a shower, apparently.
Oh, fair enough.
We can go live now to Antarctica to meet 3 of the people who work there. Let's chat to base leader Lou Hoskin, wildlife monitor Maggie Cole, and postmaster George Clark. Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. So tell us a little bit about what your jobs entail.
So we're all down here with the UK Antarctic Heritage Trust, and the main aim is to look after the buildings that are down here and showcase the human stories of Antarctica. But we also all have individual jobs within that. So I'm the base leader, Maggie is the wildlife monitor, and George is the postmaster.
So as the base leader, what do you have to do exactly?
Mostly a lot of emails, actually. So it's my job to sort of be the logistic lead for the team, making sure that we've got everything we need to be able to do our jobs properly and do our jobs well, and making sure that I organise the ship visits and, most importantly, our chance to have a shower.
Yeah.
Well, that was very on my mind, if I'm honest with you. The fact that there's no running water. So, you know, washing must be a problem. Going to the toilet must be a problem. And how often do you actually get a shower with the ships? Are you, like, negotiating with the ships? What are you doing?
So everyone down here is really, really kind to us, and I think very keen to give us a shower because we smell of penguin. But it's usually every couple of days. We have a mix of ships visiting the post office and the museum, which is really, really lovely to give people the chance to look around and see the history that we have here. And then every now and again, we go on a ship. So that's usually every 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
And Maggie, I was going to say, Maggie, you've got the best job. You're the person who has to monitor the little cute penguins. Oh, that's got to be the best job in the whole wide world.
I think so. I never thought I would say one of my jobs involved counting penguins, but here we are in Antarctica doing that. So yeah, what we do is we've got about 1,000 Gen 2 penguins on the island, so roughly 500 breeding pairs a year. And my job is to monitor them and how successful the breeding pattern is. So we look at the nests and their eggs, and we look at the chicks towards the end of the season. And once they've started crashing, they form little groups, and their parents go out to sea to get fish. So they stay together for protection, and we count the chicks once they're crashed as well. So it's just to see every year how the breeding is going. And this is part of a long-term study that's been going on since 1996. So yeah, it's a really great thing to be part of, and it's an incredible job.
Oh, and how are the penguins at the moment? Are they breeding? They're doing well at the moment?
They're doing amazing. So we had our first egg on the 18th of November, which was one of my co-mates Dale's birthdays and also Polar Pride. So that was a really lovely event, and we're hoping to have our first chick by Christmas, but we'll see.
What a lovely Christmas present. George, you're the postmaster there. I know there's like 18,000 postcards that go through the office. What exactly does your job entail?
Yeah, that's right. So you have a post box here. So people buy their postcards, buy their stamps, and then pop them in the box. So we get all those together. We go through them, franking the stamps, bundle them up, bag them up, and put them on ships ready to be distributed all over the world.
Wow. And did you have any prior experience of being a postmaster before?
None whatsoever. No, it's been a learning curve. So we're every day's a school day. Yeah. We're learning as we go.
And I'm guessing even being there is kind of a learning curve too, because you don't have any darkness at the moment, do you?
No, that's correct. Yeah, it's 24-hour sunlight at the moment, so which is great for the solar panels. Not so great for the sleeping patterns, but yeah, we're adapting.
Yeah, that's not good for your circadian rhythm at all.
No.
Do you have to stimulate nighttime then? What do you do when you want to go to sleep?
We draw the curtains at about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, so we try and simulate nighttime as much as possible, which is great. And then when we come out of our bedroom in the morning, we are blinded by the light. So yeah.
Oh, it's lovely.
I mean, it is incredibly remote, but you do actually get to meet quite a few people, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We have cruise ships come by every kind of couple of days. And we have lots of visitors visiting us. We've got a museum here, so they get to learn all about the history of the place. And we also have our online, we have our shop on board sometimes, or we have people visit and we have a shop here. All the money goes towards the charity, so it's a really fantastic cause. We also have an online shop, so if you are looking to get your Christmas presents sorted, you're welcome to go and have a look at our online shop as well.
Oh, you're going to have such a lovely Christmas. Imagine waking up on Christmas Day seeing the penguins. Is there any way we could actually have a look outside right now and see if we can see any penguins?
Yeah, we can give it a go.
Oh, go on.
Here we go.
Oh, excited.
Come on, George, take us out there. Let's have a
Don't
little
disappoint
look.
us. Don't disappoint. We want to see penguins. Let's have a look.
There we go. Can you see it?
Oh, it's beautiful. There they are. Oh,
So where's
love
the penguins?
this.
There we go.
Oh, look at them.
So we have to stay 5 metres away from the penguins, but you should be able to see some in the background.
Oh, what a lovely life you're living. What a lovely life. I've always wanted to go there.
Yeah, it's so funny because they call it the little white voice that draws you back there. Do you feel that, George?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I think I'm going to miss this place when we leave. So, yeah, we're all really fond of it.
Well, listen, Lou, Maggie and George, have a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for for introducing us to the penguins, and enjoy your time at the post office.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much.
See you
Thank
later.
you
Merry
Bye,
Christmas.
girls. Bye.
Bye.
Aw.
That was. I
wanna
feel
go.
really
Do you wanna
Christmassy
go?
now. Yes.
I really want to go there. That would be amazing.
be
But I only
incredible.
want to go for a day.
So you don't have to do a shower.
I
on the
really
ship.
want to go. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Well, we've been busy already today. We talked yesterday about Harry Styles having his hair chopped off for charity. He's donating his locks to the Little Princess Trust, the charity that provides wigs for children who suffer from hair loss due to cancer treatment or alopecia.
Well, we'll be meeting the founder of the trust a little bit later, and we're also doing our bit for charity today, lining up our volunteers to go for the chop. Very nervous they are today.
Look, sitting in a waiting room here.
The chop.
We're calling this our live locks lop off, and we've got 4 brave people ready to go for the snip. So here to do the honours, we've got stylist Percy.
Hello,
who's here.
Percy. You're
right. First in the hot seat is Emma. Emma, how are you feeling?
Nervous.
How long has it taken you to grow this?
I've always had long hair.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So this will be a big change. Why are you doing it today then?
Just 'cause I've got a lot of it, and if I can make it worth my while for other children, then why not?
Well, it's a lovely thought. It's a
Yeah.
lovely thought. I mean, Harry has really boosted this, hasn't he?
I know,
Big
it's
time,
incredible.
Big time. So the moment has arrived.
I know.
Percy, I'm so jealous you get to do this. I know, Good luck. It's going. Do you want to feel it one last time? No. Okay.
Let's turn you a little
You've
bit
got
so
lovely
that we
hair
get a
as
good
well, really
vision.
thick, gorgeous hair.
Yeah, it's going to take a second to cut through because it is thick hair. That's
Listen
a
to
good
that
thing.
noise.
Oh gosh, it's going.
Now,
It's
obviously,
going.
when you do this, it's really important to remember it needs to be dry hair.
Right.
Because otherwise it's quite difficult for the charity to use the hair.
It's going to be a big difference.
Also...
But listen, it's good. It's good. It's great.
is,
It's good
it's
to have
fine,
a
it's
change
fine,
as
it'll go
well.
back.
It's taken him a while to saw through
It's
it.
really thick. It's really thick.
Look.
Oh my gosh, how does that feel?
Light.
You know what?
really light.
Let's pass you this and turn you back
Oh,
round.
my goodness.
So you can do this in a few
that is
plaits
it.
if
Yeah.
you've got shorter hair, just
Yeah.
to make sure they get the most amount of hair. But
But you
because
know
it's
what?
one
I know
leg,
you haven't even styled that, but it already looks good.
you're done.
You're going to put a proper style in this
Absolutely,
and make
yes.
it all beautiful.
Yeah.
Well done, you, for being so brave. You all right?
Feeling all right
I'm
over
fine.
there?
Yeah.
Everyone else okay?
Little anxious?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
George has got almost as much to come off the front as he has off the back.
That's true.
But firstly, I want to say congratulations, massive congratulations to you with your
Bless you.
amazing
Thank
silver
you.
medal,
Thank
which
you very much.
must not be forgotten in all this.
Yeah, it's been a little bit crazy trying to defend myself and stuff.
Yeah,
But
how much has that taken the shine off the fact that you are still a silver medalist?
do you know, it's more just on the night. You know, I've been through this whirlwind of competition. I got my medal, and we've gone to press conference, and everyone was, you know, so happy. And I get home and I start seeing all these kind of reactions on social media. And I just spent the first kind of hour and a half, 2 hours just trying to defend myself, when really, you know, I should be, you know, on the phone to my mum and, you know, and everyone and just enjoying it. I mean, at this point, when I realised, you know, I hadn't got the gold medal, you know, it's been like, I've been training over 20 years, over 2 decades, with the dream that I want to be at the Olympic Games and be Olympic champion. And my Olympic training has been 12 years, you know, from Beijing up until now. And to know you haven't got that gold medal at that time, you know, I needed a minute to let that sink in.
Yes, I think there'd be more likely something wrong with you, my friend, if you hadn't got those feelings and that you're saying, oh, well, there you go, that's it, you know.
Yeah,
but I think what your problem here is you've got people who often know nothing about sport, who don't bother with sport except for every 4 years, and they want everything to be lovely and they want everybody to get a prize for everything they do, and that's my theory behind a lot of this.
Yeah, I just needed a moment.
So the thing is, after that moment, what happened? So we all saw you on the floor with your head in your hands.
So at this point, the competition's still going. There's still a couple more competitors to go. And in between the routines, the cameras come down and they film your reactions and stuff. And then the cameras went back to the Russian, who was still left to go on the pommel horse. And during this time, I kind of got myself up, Went over to Max's coach, gave him a big hug. He hugged me, said, you know, amazing job. I said, congratulations. And then I saw Max, gave Max a big hug.
But none of this was caught on camera.
Yeah, because the cameras have gone back to the Russian now to film their routine. So, yeah, I said well done to Max. I said well done to some of the other guys that I'd finished I hadn't been to yet. And then I went back to my seat. And then obviously the Russian had finished and the cameras came back down. And it looked like I hadn't actually moved places. I just stayed there the whole time and just ignored Max, which was not the case.
Right. Well, a lot of people having their knickers in a twist about this. How are you about all of this? How are you feel? A lot of people very concerned. Are you concerned?
I'm not concerned in the slightest. You know, after 5-10 minutes had passed and I was able to digest everything and realise what had just happened. You know, I just won an Olympic silver medal. My 3rd Olympic Games, my 4th medal in my collection. You know, and it's been such a task to get to this one.
Yeah.
You know, the other 2 was relatively speaking,
Is that because
easier.
you took a year out?
Because I took a year out, because I'm no longer one of the best and I'm having to really fight for my place on the team. A lot of people
And
said...
is that age, do you think, or is it because you took a year out?
I think obviously it didn't help taking a year out, but I was able to prove myself and I proved, you know, that I was able to be on that team. But everyone's so good now in Britain. You know, it's hard to make that team.
But is that something, as an athlete, you have to accept? There are younger, fitter, stronger people coming up always behind every athlete.
Yeah, I've said this in interviews. It's fantastic for the sport. It's just hard for me.
Sure.
You know?
And when you get on the podium, how hard is that? When you get on the podium and there were a few tears there from you...
I mean, I held them back in the corridor when we were getting ready to march out. I felt it coming and I thought, you know, I'm all right with this. And then as I stood behind the podium about to step on, I pictured my mum watching at home with her friends, and I just got very emotional. And it's been such a job for me, for my mum, for my coach. So many doubters not thinking I could have done what I did, and it just came out. And you know, it was just a very proud moment.
Lewis, what about the next moment? Let me ask you about the next moment. You've got it all, but you haven't got gold. You've got Tokyo 4 years away. Is it worth the hassle? What are your thoughts?
It's always worth the hassle.
But you're ancient.
I am ancient.
27 now.
Hey, I haven't got any grey hairs yet, but they're coming.
So you'll be what, 31?
I'd be 31 in Tokyo, yeah. Training is tough. It's very repetitive, and you do have your days when it's like, you know, is it all worth it? But when you go to something like the Olympic Games and you represent your country and you're there with your friends, it makes it all worth it. So it's definitely worth the pain and the hard work. It's just whether my body can actually deal with what is necessary to be there.
The main thing is you haven't said to me, get out of it, I'm not doing that. You are seriously considering going again.
Oh, very, very seriously considering it, yeah.
More than seriously, because have you made your mind up?
If I was sat here with a gold medal, it might be a different story. But no, I mean, it is the one medal I haven't got.
So you're going for gold?
Yeah, it'd be silly to say no. Yeah, I'd definitely be going for gold. And, you know, Tokyo is a fantastic place.
Yeah.
And hopefully, you know, I can be there, represent my country again.
For more of the same, just click here, and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel. What goes through your mind when you're waiting to do a dive? The two of you standing there, what do you talk about before? What's in your head? How do you focus?
We both have our individual routines, so we're both listening to music and like just warming up and stuff. And then we go to our coaches and they give us like a few comments about the dive or whatever we're about to do. And then we basically just go up there and do it. I literally just think about one word. That's how I always have done it at a competition.
The made-in-Chelsea star Louise Thompson spent years on the covers of plenty of health magazines.
But everything changed in 2021 when the birth of her beautiful baby boy Leo took a devastating turn.
Yeah, Louise suffered a traumatic labour that triggered a chain of catastrophic health problems, including almost losing her life twice.
As she bravely opens up about her experience in her best-selling book, Lucky, here it is, Louise is joining us now. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for
Lovely
having me.
to have you here on the sofa. As I was reading this, quite often within medicine and human beings, things go wrong. Obviously, we're just human beings and, you know, medical staff don't always get it right. But the catalogue of events that happened and the catalogue of things that went wrong to you, I don't know how you're sitting here describing it and how you write about it so eloquently.
Well, thank you. And I do feel very lucky to still be here.
Yeah.
Because there really was such a horrendous cascade of events, you know, taking it right back to the beginning. And as you say, I was one of the healthiest people I knew. I'd done the cover of Women's Health twice. It was my bread and butter. You know, I lived and breathed fitness, and I'd never really stepped foot into a hospital before. And then, yes, I gave birth to my son 3.5 years ago, and my world was literally turned upside down. I knew, you know, I think women know their bodies, and we have this intuition. And I really knew that the childbirth thing wasn't going to be a walk in the park for me. I have a very small body, my partner's very big, and I did have some anxiety around that. And I kept trying to advocate for myself, to speak up, to say, I really want to have a planned C-section. I'd been involved in a nasty house fire before giving birth, about a month out. And I wasn't feeling well. Like, it's tough. Like, childbirth is incredibly tough as it is. And being pregnant is very tough for women. We go through a lot. And I just felt like I wasn't listened to, and I had to jump through a lot of hoops, and there wasn't a great, you know, level of continuity of care. And so I was just met with a lot of resistance. And then I kind of succumbed to my fate, and I ended up not being able to deliver my baby naturally. And I ended up in theatre. And I think one of the most horrendous things about this whole experience, which is what has left me with a lot of lasting damage that I talk a lot about in the book, with all of the PTSD and also suffering with, you know, horrendous anxiety that's sort of brought into that, and depression too, was having to witness 3.5 hours of surgery awake.
Yeah.
I just wish that I had been put to sleep.
Yeah.
Because sadly, you know, I've had to have subsequent emergency surgeries, and, you know, it was only a week after I was then discharged home following that surgery without much of an explanation as to what had happened. I mean, it's a lot to process. Anyway.
Yes, yes.
And then I had a massive obstetric hemorrhage 2 days later.
Which was
when
the
I was
second one you'd actually had.
Yes. So in the original surgery, I lost 3.5 litres, and then in the second, I lost 5.5 litres, which is a lot. I mean, I probably only have about 5 litres of blood in my body, given my weight. And it just, you know, it's crazy how long it can take to actually process all of it. But the book, for me, has been a big part of that. And there were times early on when I found myself, when I was finally discharged from hospital after spending a large chunk of time there, where I couldn't really function. I couldn't connect with my son. And I just didn't recognise my life. And writing, for me, was such a kind of cathartic process. And it was the only way I could communicate with people, really.
Yeah.
The interesting thing hearing you talk about what you have been through, there's a sort of irony to the fact that the book's called Lucky. You know, because he sounds anything but lucky. And I love the story about why you've called it Lucky. And actually that you're starting to appreciate the value of where you are and that you have Leo now, and your life is still going, and what you've been through, that maybe you do feel a bit lucky finally.
I do. And, you know, I've spent a bunch of time in hospital, and there are definitely people that are much less lucky than me. And I do feel really privileged to have come out the other side. You know, I have my working brain again. I can think straight. I've got an amazing relationship with my son. And so there are loads of hopeful messages in the book. I kind of go through the whole thing of I felt like I lost a lot of my old self, especially during those first couple of years throughout the recovery. And I've gradually been piecing the jigsaw back together, making sense of everything. And now, you know, it was, someone that I mentioned in the book, this guy, when we finally managed to get away on holiday. And this guy said, I sort of was just making almost a joke of everything that happened to me. And he was like, wow, you're really lucky. And if anyone had said that to me even 6 months prior, I would have been actually quite upset. I was like, gosh, it completely reframed it in my head. You know, I live in this country, you know, I live close to a hospital, and I've had access to some incredible care and met some incredible people along the way. And it's opened my eyes. You know, my perspective on life is very different now. Like, you know, it's not the way that you want to have to learn those lessons about life, but yeah.
But I guess you do very much start to seize the day and appreciate friends and appreciate family. And I know that Leo is just gorgeous, and I'm guessing how much you absolutely love him now that you've got the PTSD under control, because that was one of the biggest things. And what I found so sad about the book was you managed to cope with all the physical stuff, and then mentally, that took over. And little Leo was this living, breathing incarnation of reminding you of these terrible things.
Exactly that. I mean, it was awful that he was re-traumatizing me when I was at home and I was sort of in the same space as him, under the same roof. I just have memories now of, so a lot of it is a blur because your brain just tries to shut it out. But I have memories of just holding him and looking up, and as he was crying, and I would just look up at the sky, and honestly, I would just pray. And I'd go, take all of this pain away, like this mental and physical torture. But yeah, the mental stuff was a lot worse than, you know, physical. You can you can often fix a physical problem. You can diagnose a physical problem a lot more easily, but it was the mental torture that was really hard to grapple with because you can't go in and get treated.
Can't fix it.
You can't fix it. So, you know, there are medications, and I did an awful lot of therapy, and I was considering going to a mother and baby unit and going to other facilities, but I think that would have just prolonged the recovery, because if I'd stepped away from my son, I might have got better on my own, like in my own kind of cold, dark private cell, and then go back.
You've had great support from Ryan too, I think, as well.
I feel very, very grateful to have a partner.
Yeah.
We spoke to the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital because obviously you've been through this catalogue of things, and this is what they said: the health and well-being of those in our care is an absolute priority. It's right that we recognise when this care doesn't meet the standards that patients rightly expect, and we learn from it. Patient safety and the quality of care we provide are fundamental to our maternity service. Our thoughts and best wishes are with Louise and her family. We're committed to working with all our patients, and we'll continue to work with Louise on supporting her and providing appropriate resources and guidance. So one of the things that's hugely important, I'm sure, for you is being able to share your experience, share it with the hospital, and also in the hope that other mothers and parents won't go through what you've been through.
Absolutely. And, you know, after everything happened, they did do an investigation, and I did manage to have a birth debrief with them. It took me 2 years to be able to feel strong enough to do that. And we kind of spoke through some of the things that happened and where they could try to improve the care. And, you know, there are some amazing people that I have a relationship with, and I actually am still under their care because I have other problems with, I've suffered with an inflammatory bowel disease, so I have a close relationship with the gastroenterologists there. So I was there only last week, and the colorectal surgeons. And so it's sort of a stark reminder every time I go in, but also you have to have this, you know, this like blind faith in these people that are also only human as well. And I think the thing that I've learned as well is that it's not personal. That's the thing. It's not, you know, somebody... It's not me against anybody, you know? It's so trying to remove the emotion from it. I'm in a place now where I think, OK, how can I just get myself back to, I'm here, I'm at A. If I want to be at B, how do I get there?
Let's do it collaboratively.
Yeah,
one of the things you've been lucky enough is to have is a fantastic family around you. And your little brother. I know, as irritating as he can be, I'm sure, growing up, he has been a real... Look, there you go. He's been a bit of a rock for you through this, hasn't he, Louise?
He has, and actually I'm so lucky that we do live next door to each other because...
That's wicked.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, I'd love to live next door to
Well, you think that, but it grows old real quick for Louise.
Yeah, we barricaded the wall up in between, so there's no hopping over the fence anymore.
That as well.
And he's got a key. Actually, he breaks in through... Anyway.
I'm sure he does. How has your relationship changed, actually? Because there are so many great big events here that happen. I'm guessing the dynamic between the two of you has kind of changed as well a little bit.
Yeah, do you know what? I mean, Louise it's funny because I've just been over there doing the bunny ears to Louise when she's getting introduced, but and that's really the only way I know how to sort of like handle stuff when it gets to that level. And but it changed a lot, I think. You know, Louise is the bravest person I know, and to have that as my sister is nuts. You know, I've never met anyone braver. I think like no one will ever know the full stuff that Louise went through, and
that's true.
I think it was I sort of welled up and actually cried a little bit where Louise had these little things dangling down from the ceiling in her house and little extracts from the book, and she was like, "Can you read the passage about you?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, fine." And I read it, and she basically was like, "He's become my big brother."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dynamic shifted, didn't it?
That was terrifying because oh no, but it's a weird thing when someone you love so much is in so much crisis and who you become in that moment and stuff. And Louise's partner Ryan is the absolute rock to everything. And I actually remember when you had the hemorrhage, I was at the ITV Palooza.
And my mum called me and was like, you need to get to the hospital now. And I actually snuck into the hospital, past all the guards and stuff, and just sat in a room with Ryan for like all night to find out whether Louise was going to survive. Like, it was nuts.
Well, because also, if you put yourself in that position, Ryan's there, he's got Louise on the operating table, he's got Leo somewhere else, and he's thinking that at some stage, and Leo wasn't very well when he was born either, so he's thinking he might go home from the hospital with nothing at all.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you handle that moment with him?
It's a weird one because you lock in.
Yeah.
You really, I've never been so focused in my life, actually, when it gets that bad, you really sort of like steer into a completely different phase of your being. I've never really had it before, and I hope to never have it again, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But you really lock in, you become laser focused. I wasn't that emotional, actually, to be fair. I was just literally just like so on it.
Yeah.
And I've never actually been like that before. And so Ryan was the exact same.
Essentially, Louise, he can be grown up if he has to.
Now I know.
Yeah, we don't want to be like that. But you know what, whenever
But then he would come and visit me and you'd just lie on the window ledge and he'd go, oh, I'm so tired. And I'd be like, thanks, Sam.
Yeah, I'd go and moan.
It hurts to make you laugh even at that point.
Do you know what? I did feel like there was a time where Louise obviously was going through, you know, a lot in the hospital bed. I feel like sometimes she needs the Joker in there.
Yeah.
So I'd literally just open the door and be like, hello, clown suit zipped up. And I'd sort of try and make her laugh a little bit, which was... everyone had a different role, I think, but just to have Louise sat here now is
it's lovely.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we're the luckiest family in the world just to have Louise still here. Oh, I'm going to cry. Yeah, we're very incredibly lucky.
And it's smashing to see your relationship. And this book is, it's a tough read, and you actually even warn the reader at certain bits. This is what's coming up, and I'm about to be very honest. But it's a great read too. Well done.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for putting up with him.
Yeah.
I mean...
You had him a lot longer than we have.
You can't pick family, can you? That's the problem.
We get to send him home at the end of the day. And he can't get rid of it. You're next door.
He seems pretty busy at the moment.
Great to see
Thank
you
you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Yeah, all right. Good. I was about to have a moment, but I'm right.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Well, Demi joins us now to talk more about her condition. She's also alongside gynaecologist Dr. Neetu. Good morning to you both. I mean, it's so brilliant that you were on the show and you were so vocal, so honest. Was that kind of your mission to begin with, or was it a happy accident that happened along the way?
I think a bit of both. I feel like I went into the experiment to like give myself to someone, and in that moment it was like, I need to share this part of who I am, but it's something I'm very uncomfortable with. So obviously I knew I had to like disclose it, and it was a lot for me to do, but the relief was so liberating afterwards to kind of get it out there, and I was received so beautifully, and it honestly has helped me massively, so I'm very happy about that.
It's really emotional watching you talk about it, because clearly it's not a subject that you have, until you've went on the show, felt comfortable talking about. You couldn't even say the word.
No, I couldn't. Honestly, to say the word endometriosis, which I can say now, I would just get really tearful and really upset about it, because it was something that really did take a hold of, you know, how I was in relationships, and it was something that I was worried about kind of disclosing and
so can you explain when it started and how it affected?
Oh, yeah. So when I first had my periods, I didn't know what a normal period was, right? I was quite heavy and stuff, and I just thought that was kind of normal. And then as you get older, you start to get into relationships. I always played football, and I started to notice that it was a lot more painful than what my friends were saying. I used to get like really numb legs and really severe back pain. But obviously that was kind of associated with playing football. Like I was in injury. Yeah. So I was just going back and forth like, what is this? Until it started to actually affect my relationships.
But also, and it's going to be quite graphic, and one of the things that really struck me, Demi, you played in this football team and you had white kit.
Oh, yeah.
And you used to have to sort of take precautions in case the heavy period sort of came through.
I'm talking like 5 pairs of knickers just because I was just worried. Like, can you imagine being a 15-year-old and leaking in a white kit? Like,
terrifying, but also to think that was normal.
Yeah.
That was sort of, you know, that's
what
the
you had to do.
frustration, because you kind of go, and you hadn't been able to share what you were going through to understand that there was a condition that you were experiencing.
Yeah. And this is no fault of anyone around me, because I just wasn't open about it. You know, I wasn't telling my mum I was doing that. I wasn't opening up to people. I just thought that was kind of like the norm that you do. You kind of mask it.
And when did you first realise that it wasn't, and how did you go about getting help or advice?
To be honest with you, I think it was when I got into a more serious relationships and, you know, you're more sexually active and so on. And the impact of that and how it made me feel afterwards and stuff, I was like, this can't be normal. So obviously I sought medical advice, a lot of back and forth, like misdiagnosis, like I got told I had IBS, which is a common thing, I believe. Very common, yeah. So I was put on laxatives and I was thinking like, why is it still so bad? Like, what is going on? To the point where I don't think I really got taken serious until I hit 25, because that's when you have your cervical, your smear test and so on. So yeah, they detected it when I hit 26. That's when I had the keyhole surgery.
And the diagnosis then was quite severe endometriosis. Had it been found earlier when you first started asking, it would have been a very different thing.
Yeah, and that's what obviously I was a bit upset about, because it's like I've been coming out for the last 7 years to try and figure out what's going on, to the point now I'm being told it's like moderate or like stage 3 and whatever.
Can I just...
yes, please.
Yeah.
So generally, in my 40 years of experience with endometriosis, women don't tend to have minimal or mild endometriosis, then progresses to moderate or severe. It tends to be 2 separate categories.
Right.
So what is painful to hear, and not just Demi's story, millions of women, is that they're actually having these symptoms that can be helped, not necessarily whether it's mild or minimal endometriosis, which can still cause a lot of painful periods, heavy periods, or moderate or severe, which can affect it's a whole body condition. So I wouldn't worry so much about it not having been diagnosed for the sake of preventing it from progressing.
Right.
What is more important is all those years of suffering.
Right.
Because I was
unnecessary.
For sure, because there's the physicality
and
of
the
what is
emotional,
happening.
and the social aspects, all the aspects.
And mentally as well, to know that there's something wrong with you.
And you were told it's normal.
But you don't know what it is.
Yeah, and it's like, am I exaggerating? So I think the diagnosis for me helped validate my feelings and then made me feel like it was a relief, to be honest with you. Like, okay, I feel heard. There is something. What's the next steps, kind of thing. And I went away and tried to like find what worked for me. I think in that moment it would have been better if, you know, the options that were presented to me were presented with a little bit more information and a bit more direction, because like, I've heard that if you go on contraception and stuff like that, it could have helped after your surgery, but I opted out of that. So I feel like it could continue to progress. And I know what works for me now. Like, I know if I exercise or I cut out refined sugars, like these things do help, but I am just a human being who wants to live life. And sometimes I do want to go out and have a drink with my friends. Sometimes I do want to eat that red meat.
It's part of life.
It is. So I'm just trying to find the blend.
Do you feel like you're finding that balance with endometriosis now?
I think the biggest step for me was actually just taking ownership of it. So now I'm there, it's like, yeah, I feel a bit more confident in my decisions now, and I'm being more intentional. Like, you see me on the show talk about how I want a family. Like, that is one of the main things that I want. And if I want that, then there's certain things that I know I have to go away and work on. So I think that now I'm being intentional with how I'm going to live my life, like my lifestyle. Yeah.
So, Tanisha, there are moments where obviously Demi wasn't diagnosed correctly, almost to the point of, as you just said, in your head you think you're making it up. You're going crazy. What do women need to do? Because there are going to be people who are watching right now at home that are going, oh, I've got something that's a bit like that, or I feel a bit like that. What do women need to do?
So it's not just women, it's also society, schools, public policy, health professionals. Everybody needs to take ownership. It's not just women. What's important for women who are listening and people who are close to women are listening is that periods should not be painful. Any periods that affects the quality of your life, whether it is going to school, whether it's going to work, whether you're ending up spending a day or days in bed. So painful periods not to be put up with. That may be because of fibroids, adenomyosis, which is another close cousin of endometriosis, polycystic ovary syndrome, endometriosis. All these are conditions that affect women. So painful periods, heavy periods, any period that lasts for more than 7 days, any period that you end up having to use double protection, where you're passing clots larger than the size of your thumbnail. Those things are not normal. We should not normalize periods as in this. It's fine, my mother had it, my grandmother had it, so I have to suck it up. No. Painful periods, heavy periods, painful intercourse, not to be accepted. You know, body backache that she was mentioning, it's often as doctors, we don't join the dots. And so we do have to realize that endometriosis is a whole body condition. It's a chronic condition that causes endometriosis belly, it causes bloating, it causes chronic fatigue, it causes bladder symptoms, bowel symptoms that people think is irritable bowel syndrome when actually it's not. So it's really important that not just women, but all of us raise awareness, because even as doctors, we don't always listen to our patients.
Well, as Dr. Sarah said, we only have 10 minutes. It's finding that balance.
And so we have to take ownership a little bit, but also the rest of
We have got some questions we want to go through. I just want to, quickly, before we get to these, if you do get a diagnosis, are there things that can be done? What sort of treatments can you get which will alleviate the symptoms and help?
So it really depends. It's very individualized, and it depends upon your clinical symptoms, but it could be treatment for your periods, so it could be painful periods if you're having, so it may be certain medications that you take just during your periods. It might be certain forms of hormonal medication that you need to help you while, if you're not trying to get pregnant, so you would take that all through the month. Pelvic floor physiotherapy, things like acupuncture, and then surgery by specialists. For example, I would operate on some people who need surgery, sadly, the way to diagnose endometriosis thus far has been only with a keyhole surgery. And so you should have it only with a specialist who knows how to manage endometriosis. And so that is somewhere we don't have enough of those doctors. And that's important.
But there are options.
But there's a blood test coming up, hopefully not too far off in the distance, where we can actually pick up endometriosis through a blood test. Still not there yet.
OK, well, we've got lots of questions from our viewers, and I know wonderfully you've said you'll stay and
I will stay and answer.
She's going to go down to the office, and she's truly wonderful. So this one is from Emily. She says, I'm worried about my fertility. I was recently diagnosed with endometriosis at the age of 25. I'm awaiting a laparoscopy,
which is the keyhole procedure.
But I am concerned about potential implications it could have on fertility later down the line, as I really want children one day. What's your advice?
Yes. She has a very valid concern, because women with endometriosis may find it slightly harder to conceive. But I also, in the same breath, want to say most women will go on to conceive either naturally or with some help of fertility treatment. So I don't want anybody listening to this thinking there's no hope at all. And that can come in many different forms. And that's a discussion to be had sooner rather than later for anybody who thinks, I want to have children. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe in 5 years. Whatever it is, there is hope. Yes, fertility can be affected, but there is plenty that we can do, you know, as soon as we find out.
And that's where you are, Demi, isn't it? You want to be able to have a family at some point as well, so you need to sort of navigate that.
Yeah, so that I honestly felt that question come through. I was like, that's the question I want to answer. So,
OK, good. This is from Charlotte. What should I expect from a hysterectomy? I'm 28. I've struggled with endometriosis for years. I've exhausted all treatment options. I'm having my hysterectomy on Thursday. My specialist said that it's likely that my bowel and uterus are stuck together, and they may be limited on what endometrious cells can be removed. I can't help pinning all my hopes on this operation. What should I expect from the surgery?
So anybody who's having those questions can go onto my website, which is easy to find. It's all free.
What's your website?
neetubajekal.com, just my name with a .com.
You'll get it through the app.
Yes. But what is important to understand, she is very young. It's not often at 28 that we do a hysterectomy. Removal of the uterus is not really the culprit of endometriosis. So I would have questions, and it's difficult to have this discussion here, but it could be adenomyosis, which affects the womb itself. Has she completed her family? Has she frozen her eggs? Has she frozen embryos? All these questions have to be asked, made sure that it's because it is an irreversible procedure. So, and yes, most women will sail through it, but there can be complications, especially when you have a condition like endometriosis, if the bowel is stuck, if the bladder is stuck. So a whole team is needed to operate in this situation. It takes a good 2 months at least to recover. So work has to be very empathetic as well. It's important that we don't just rush back to work when our body is not ready.
Do your preparation.
I have all that information on my website.
Great.
OK, good luck with that, Charlotte.
This one is from Kerry. She says, about 2 days before my period, I get really bad pain in my right shoulder. The pain stays during my period and then it stops hurting about a day after I finish my period. I've been to the doctors twice about it, but they just shrugged it off as a pulled muscle. However, this happens during every period, so I feel like they must be connected.
Yes.
Are they?
Yes. And so endometriosis, we haven't defined what endometriosis is. Endometriosis is where cells, abnormal cells that are very similar to the lining of the womb that we shed every month as a period, it decides to stick itself usually within the pelvis, on the lining of the pelvis, in your ovaries, in the back of the uterus, on the bladder, on the bowel. But sometimes, and that's why we don't know exactly what causes it, sometimes it can go in your nose, in your lungs, in your diaphragm, in your brain. And so distant endometriosis is a known factor that should be taken very seriously.
Wow, I didn't know
So it should
that.
not,
Did
it's known
you?
as, yes, it's really important that that is paid attention to because, you know, somebody who's giving you a history like that should not be ignored at all. It may not turn out to be that, but it is
needs checking.
Absolutely.
Get that checked, Kerry. Then Penny, she's, are my spotting along periods down to endo or perimenopause? I've had problems with my periods since a very early age. Got diagnosed with endometriosis in the last couple of years. I'm 41 years old. My periods in the past 5 months have either been longer than usual or I've been spotting in between. I feel really confused because I want another baby, but I don't want sex. So I'm just wondering if this is down to endometriosis or something else, maybe perimenopause.
I would not immediately jump to perimenopause if I was a betting doctor, which I'm not. I would say I would be concerned that she may have adenomyosis, which is the cousin of endometriosis, pushing itself into the lining of the muscle wall. That can cause spotting. Is she up to date with her smear test? Because that's really important. Is there bleeding after intercourse? Is it endometriosis? Are there fibroids? There's so many things. She needs a good review by a specialist, ask her GP to refer to the NHS hospital, and from there onwards, maybe even to somebody who specialises in this thing. So not to be ignored. Any spotting, any bleeding, not to be ignored, whatever your age.
There you go, Demi. Try and get that referral. So, Demi, just coming back to you, you didn't find love necessarily on Love is Blind. How is life anyway, though? Are you are you out there fishing again?
Trying. Just about to, I'm going to get myself back out there.
Good.
But yeah, it's been good.
Well, look, thank you for coming in
Yes,
and
thank you
sharing
very
your
much.
story.
Thank
As
you.
know, like you say, just taking ownership
Brilliant.
of it. You
Yeah.
can see the change in
Thank
you
you.
already. You know, just sort of meeting you today. It's been brilliant to meet you.
Absolutely brilliant. Well done.
Thank you.
And Dr. Niti, we didn't have enough time to get through everything
Not a
here,
problem.
but she's so wonderful. She's staying.
Amazing.
She's going to set up her office downstairs, give her a cup of coffee. She'll be here all afternoon.
No coffee, I'll be up all night.
Okay, fine. No coffee, no coffee.
Whatever you'd like. She's going to be answering some of your phone calls a little bit later on, and we'll get through all of those. So fingers crossed. We can
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
We are gathered here today to celebrate the love people have for each other. Dermot, I promise to always cherish you, always love you, and always adore you and tolerate all your naughty things that you do in life.
Alison, I promise to honour you, to understand you, to always be true.
Well, actually, it's
Someone
not about...
order me a cold shower right now.
It's not about how much we love each other.
Mama!
As it's Valentine's Day, all morning, 14 amazing couples have been getting ready to renew their vows live on the show.
Let's not the mate. Too much. Let's not the wait any longer.
I think I stalled it.
Because please be upstanding for our deserving brides and grooms with
Reverend Kate Botley is leading proceedings.
So thrilled. Well, you all look so beautiful. So without further ado, we've come here today to give thanks for the marriages of these wonderful couples, to rejoice together and to ask for a continued blessing. Marriage is a gift and a means of grace. It's given that each may comfort and help the other, living faithfully together in times of need as well as times of plenty, in joy and sadness, sickness and health. And marriage is given that you may know each other in love. Marriage strengthens and enriches our society. And in marriage, a couple belong together and to each other. They live in their community and they're surrounded and supported by their friends and family. And you are supported by us here today. And so, I now invite you to renew those vows that you made on your wedding days. So facing each other and taking each other's hands, I invite you to repeat after me. I, your name,
I, David,
took you, name,
baby,
to be my husband or wife,
to be my husband,
to have and to hold, from that day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, till death do us part. And now I invite you, if you have a wedding band, to put your hand on your partner's wedding band that you exchanged on that special day. I gave you this ring as a sign of our marriage. With my body, I honour you. All that I am, I give to you. And all that I have, I share with you. So if you'd like to face this way. So may you all be made strong in faith and love. May you be protected and defended on every side. And may you be guided in truth and peace. And may I be the first to say, congratulations, you may kiss your bride.
Beautiful. I actually didn't think it was going to be as emotional as it was. How was it for you, Leah?
Lovely. 18 years in, still going strong.
Oh, and when you all looked into each other's eyes, did that feel
10
lovely?
years today for me and Gary. So.
Is it 10
Yeah,
years?
our
Can I just say, I'm loving this outfit. This purple dress is stunning. How are you feeling, Craig?
Oh, I'm all shook up.
Fantastic. I'm ready for some cake. I don't know about you, Dermot.
That was so nice. I didn't think it'd be so moving.
Yeah, it always gets people. People always just think, oh, you know, we've done it before. But there is something about a wedding renewal where the pressure's off just a little bit. And even I, when we did the rings bit, I put my hand on my own wedding band just to remind myself that 27 years in.
You're still there.
Still doing it.
What about
Dermot, can I just ask you, Dermot?
Yeah.
Has it changed your mind? Would you renew your vows?
I'd love to.
I'll do you a really good
changed
deal.
He's changed his mind.
Jenny and Frank, how are you? How was that for you?
So emotional, and I really didn't think it would be, but it was.
Yeah.
I really loved it.
How long have you guys been together, Frank?
30 years.
It's my mum's friend. And I promised to marry her.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah, the man of his word. How long have you been together?
30 years.
30 years. Janet and Frank, everyone. Come on.
Hi everyone, just want to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
You obviously become Britney, don't you?
Well, I think there's an element on stage where I obviously have to impersonate her fully. So her mannerisms, her characteristics, the costumes, the dancing, the singing as well. So I kind of see things through the eyes of her, I guess you could say, but I don't ever feel like I am Britney. And that's the difference, is it's really a tribute to Britney and portraying her at her best, you know, her prime.
And it is so uncanny looking at you because your facial features are so like her. Have you had any surgery, Derek, to look like this?
No, I've had nothing done, and I guess I could just thank my parents for really good genes, and that's it. So no surgeries yet.
The costumes are very skimpy, so at the risk of sounding crude, like what do you do with your boy bits and things when you have?
That's very
well, it's
crude.
not. I'm just.
Very crude.
People will be thinking it, won't they? They will.
They will. They will. Everything gets tucked away, and it's made to look perfect. So I don't want to give too much away. It's like a magician. You know, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors happening here.
Let's just establish your relationship. You've been together for absolutely ages.
Yeah, 10 years in March. So, yeah, married for a year.
Yeah, and you always, you especially,
Yeah.
always wanted children.
Since 2009, I think I wanted a baby. I've even got letters addressed to Isabel from 2009. So we've had the name picked out for that long.
Oh.
So it's not like, Ross, you got into this situation, you were thinking, I'm not really sure whether I want to be a dad.
No, this is everything I've ever wanted, really. So obviously, as you can imagine, when it happened, it did take me by surprise.
And how did you've suffered from depression in the past?
Yeah, I've had about 7 years on and off with depression. And when Rachel got pregnant, it kind of cleared. For the 9 months that you were pregnant, I had a couple of bad days, but that was it. Because I was there looking forward to having a baby.
Were you on medication during that time?
I was for a little
on your
bit.
medication?
Before you got pregnant, I was on medication. And a couple of months into your pregnancy, I thought, I feel fine now. I took myself off.
Okay.
Which I know you're not supposed to do, but it's something I felt like I could do. And I was fine after taking myself off. I did manage.
And you felt like Isabel coming along was going to be everything that you possibly wanted.
I pinned a lot of my depression on. I thought, right, as soon as I have the baby now, it's going to be gone.
Yeah. So when she did come along, how did you feel?
I didn't feel anything to start off with, but I put it down to the birth and all the stress for that.
When you say you didn't feel anything, you felt kind of neutral, neither particularly deliriously happy or...
No, I just had her and it was just... You wait for that rush then when they grab the finger, which she did do. I was expecting this rush of emotion, because you see it all over the media and films and everything, and that fatherly feeling, and it just didn't come. It started off with just numb feelings, I just didn't have anything, and then they kind of spiralled a bit. It started to turn into a bit of dislike, and eventually towards hatred to her. I didn't want to be there at all, but I knew I had to keep going. I thought, I've got two options, run away or keep going.
But that was something you considered, though?
A little bit, yeah. I remember I wrote you a letter, didn't I, for our anniversary.
So romantic.
Really romantic.
It sounds like you like writing letters.
Terrible husband, terrible father. You'd be better off without me. What you want on your first anniversary, really.
Yeah.
I remember reading it thinking, I don't really relate to that. I feel like I'm a different person to that, to the person who wrote that letter. But that was about 12 weeks or so after we had her.
And how was this for you then, Rachel? Because you're going through this extraordinary experience, and she's clearly a delightful little thing, but she's 6 months now, and they move on. They dramatically move on after about, I found, 3 months.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, I felt quite neutral initially when the baby first comes along, because you're facilitating and caring for mum and not getting very much. How was it, though, when you knew how raw his emotion was?
Heartbreaking. It was a mixture. It was frustrating because it was like, that's what you've always wanted. How can you not like something you've always wanted? You wanted this more than me, really, to a certain extent. And then it's not there. So it was frustrating, but it was just upsetting because they're the two most important people to you, and they don't get on.
And how did you... So it's brilliant that you've got a great relationship, so you talked, you were very open about how you felt. What help did you seek?
I did go to the doctor and I said to him, my depression's back, we've just had the baby. She said it's probably postnatal depression brought on from the birth of your daughter. So they did put me on meds to start off with.
Did it seem surreal, though, Ross, when they said, I think you might have a bit of postnatal depression?
Yeah, it was just like, to me, I just knew it was depression. I didn't worry about the label of it. I thought depression's depression, whether it's got a postnatal tag or...
Once you'd had this diagnosis...
Yeah.
How did that allow you to start putting the building blocks into place to sort of building up your person?
I knew I'd try and get it fixed, and I thought if it's to do with a bond, all I can do is just absorb myself in her as much as I can. Do as many things as I can with her. We were doing the baby wearing, so I had doing the carry. So it's something that she looked forward to as well, and not just having you. She had something to look forward to with me, because there weren't a lot that she liked to do with me, really, especially with the breastfeeding.
But there was something, there was a song and there was a particular moment, wasn't there?
What was that moment when you really felt like, hold on, you were stirring the emotion towards her?
Oh, when I sung her to sleep the one night when we were away, and it was the first time I proper felt like the dad.
So explain what happened then, because that...
Oh, she had a terrible night when she was on and off. I think it's when she first started teething, and we didn't know really what was going on. But she was on and off feeding, and I picked her up and was singing her to sleep. Like, I'm going to do now. And she just started to fall asleep on me, and that's the first time she'd really connected with me in that way.
She's
and
biting down on my finger, they're clean.
She will, yeah. She'll give it a good go.
But that was the moment when suddenly you thought, you know, I have got something to offer here, something genuine
it's like,
she's responded to.
Yeah, it was the first time I'm like, well, I'm giving her something, and she's responding back to me. And she does need me as well as Rachel.
Absolutely, and that was the big turning point. And brilliantly, you started writing a blog, which is called Is a Blog, because she's Isabel.
It's my little way of trying to be funny, but...
No, it's good. It's a really
hard
good
to come up with
idea.
names,
And you've had amazing feedback, and actually...
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the stats, it's actually quite a common thing, and you're not alone in any way.
That's why I almost feel weird being on you, because there's so many other guys going through it. It's awkward being on you to talk about it when it's like there's so many other guys going through this, and I'm here
But being brave enough to come and be honest.
Yeah.
It's not sort of the default settings.
No,
as
I never
Exactly, no,
expected to end up on you with it.
It's brilliant that you're on
Yeah.
here talking about it, because men really struggle to admit, first of all, that there's a problem, and then to come and see the doctor.
Yeah.
There's so many
That's
women
the
come and
first
see
one,
me.
yeah.
They say, my husband's struggling, but he won't come.
Yeah.
So talking about it
That
is
first
a great
step
thing.
is solid, but because I did it before with the depression, and I've always had the open relationship with Rachel, it wasn't as big of a thing for me as it might be for other people.
Yeah.
Because I've already been there. And that first step, once you've done it once, you can go back again.
You were born with this, weren't you? This was called bladder exstrophy?
Bladder exstrophy is correct, or epispade as it's known as. It's where your bladder's on the outside of your body, basically.
Okay, so...
And how does that affect your body?
It affects it by, things don't fuse in the middle. So you have a lot of operations, and basically you're born, there's different variations of it. So you have a born with bits of penis or none, and I had the worst variation, and it was none.
So you had testicles?
Yeah.
Right.
So as a child, I imagine when you were a young child, it's something that you don't overly notice too much. It doesn't seem to bother you. But when you came into teenagers, that's when this really became an issue for you.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you as a kid. It's just the operations that affect you. But when you hit about 13, 14, you know you're in for trouble. You know something really bad's coming.
Yeah.
And when you were here in 2013, one of the things you were talking about was the fact that to compensate for that, you had slept with 100 women. And that, it becomes clearer, was because you appeared to be just desperately trying to find a companion.
Oh, 100%. People thought it was a boast, and it wasn't. It was, you couldn't settle down with one woman, so you'd end up moving woman to woman to woman.
Because I assume when you told them, it just didn't last very long.
Oh, you didn't. You realised you couldn't tell them. You realised, I'm not going to tell them because you're going to tell everyone. So you had to kind of make a decision. It was like 20% I told. The rest I thought, it's not going to work out. So it wasn't a boast. It was just, I had no other option.
Well, you met Fabian around about the time that you came on in 2013. Yeah. At Fedra. When did you tell her?
Well, I was it came out in the newspaper, and I thought, oh, they told me what day it was coming out, and I had to tell her, I told her the night before the newspaper. And the funny thing was, I even tried to get out of it. I told her, when she was reading the newspaper the next day, I even said to her, don't believe everything you read in the newspapers.
But that's extraordinary. So Fedra, you were together for 9 months, I would say, until you found out. So, I mean, that's quite a big thing to suddenly discover, especially when you're reading it in a paper. So how did you feel about that?
It was a weird night, I will put it that way.
But a bit of a shock, I imagine.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I didn't really know how to react to it, where to put it. I was trying, very, very best to be, patient with the questions. But I asked a couple of questions, and we kind of, let it settle.
Well, if anything, it's strengthened your relationship. Although there may be no sex between you, the conversation, you've had to speak, you've had to talk. I mean, at one point it nearly broke you up, but if anything, this has definitely created quite a bond between the pair of you.
Yeah. Well, we got to a point where we almost broke up. And I think that was the point when we both said it right. Let's give it a shot. But let's woman up, let's man up, and let's give our best, which we can. Yeah. Because when you can do one thing, you will find a way. So we are best friends.
Yeah, yeah.
And you say that the sex is not something that is necessarily forefront in your mind.
Of course not. People think that's the main thing, and it's not, because first I want to be well, because you go in hospital with infections, so people don't see that side.
Years of kidney infections.
Oh, complete years, like 100 operations, more. And people just think it's about sex, and it's not. I'll look at that when I get better. Yeah. And then I can move the relationship forward, but it's not about sex for me at all.
So the question is obviously that you've got to be asked, what have you got? What have they given you?
They've built completely what any man's got now. You know, they've done an amazing job, and you have to see what these people can do. These surgeons, the NHS, amazing. I've got what anyone's got now. It just needs turning on. I have one more operation, and they're just going to basically turn it on.
So the skin comes from your arm.
Do you want to see the arm?
Yeah.
Okay. It actually comes from there.
Wow! Oh my gosh! So they literally, and that forms the skin on the outside of your penis.
Yeah. Well, basically, I can cover that up with a tattoo. So I'm looking for a tattoo artist now. So you won't actually see that when I get it covered up.
So once again, I ask this on behalf of gentlemen everywhere, and that's some ladies, I'm sure, as well. But you look at that, and you can sort of see the size. What were you not tempted at any stage to say, right, okay, well, actually take the skin up to there?
I don't. A lot of people say that. I don't think they do sizes. They just do it off your arm and muscle. They get what you're given. So.
When
you say it's switched on, what is that process?
Well, the process, it's one more operation. It's basically they put mechanics in, and they have to basically just turn it on, and it's a 3-day stint in hospital.
So does that mean that when the decision is made that tonight's the night type of thing, that you press a button and it happens?
It's kind of like that. I can't make excuses, you know. It's just I could do it when I'm asleep, couldn't
No excuses. No getting off.
You could just switch it on.
I go to sleep.
But with that comes the added initial problem of the fact that to test that it works, you have to have a 2-week erection.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that, definitely. And I've got to get the train home from London that day, so I've got to have an erection for 2 weeks.
And where are you going to go for that amount of time?
Home.
Stay in.
100%, I'm not walking about.
Once it is sort of up and running, can you have a family?
I haven't looked into that yet. If I can, I can. If I can't, we'll just adopt. So it's not really, we've agreed on it, haven't we? That's not really the issue. So I'm really happy where it's going.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the reason you're doing this is because you want to say, you know, if there is, and this is, you know, it's not common, but there will be people who have this, that there is now a way forward.
Yeah, some people can be sat at home. I understand not everyone's going to have this, but I mean, really rare conditions. Just get up, go and see your GP, go and do something about it. I was in a really dark place. I got up, I did something about it. There is help out there. Do not sit at home thinking nothing's going to change, because I am just proof everything can change.
Yeah. If you enjoyed that, there's more of the same right here. And make sure you subscribe so that you never miss the best moments from this morning. First of all, let's talk about you. What were the circumstances that led you to sleeping rough outside the arena?
Well, we were sleeping outside the arena that night, and we were waiting. We knew it was a child's do, so we were just getting our heads down, and we heard the first little bang, which we thought was a firecracker, and then we heard the big explosion, and then you felt like the shock wave off the explosion, and me and my friend, we got up and ran at first. That's what we did. But then we realised that we had to go back and start helping people when we could see kids with blood on them, and people. The mums were more frantic than the kids were, you see. So.
And I think that's what's captured everybody's imagination and heart with you, is that you didn't run away. You ran towards it without any fear of your own safety, and you made a huge difference.
Don't get it wrong. We did run. Don't get it wrong, we did run away at first. We ran first, but then we ran back, you know, after we realised that we were okay, you know, and that we knew that other people needed help. That's when we ran back. Just that people look at homeless people and tie us all with the same brush, and they think that we haven't got a heart, and that, you know. I mean, I seen people that call themselves pillars of community stepping over children that night, stepping over them to get away, you know, and leaving children there. And that just, to me, that wasn't the right thing to be done.
Well, your story has touched so many people. Loads of people have been speaking about you and wanting to hear your story as well. But your act of kindness has actually inspired another act. And with us now is David Sullivan Jr. He's the son of West Ham boss David Sullivan. David, thank you so much for joining us today. So, David, obviously you heard about Stephen's story, and you led a bit of a crusade, to be fair, to try and track this guy down. Tell us what happened.
Basically, we were watching the news, me and my dad, and I'd seen Stephen's the video from ITV on Twitter, and I said to my dad, "Have you seen the video of this this homeless guy is helping everyone in Manchester during the attack. And I went, no. I showed him it, and my dad was just like, that's amazing. And I said, well, do you know what, if I could find him, I'd pay his rent.
Yeah.
So my dad just went, well, if you can find him and track him down, then we'll just go halves and do it for like 6 months.
And of course, it's not as simple as that, though, is it? I mean, that's your instant reaction when you go, well, we'll just help him. But like, he's helped other people. Let's do that one thing. He's on the street, so let's get him home. But it's not as simple as that. And I know you've been working very closely with the Booth Centre, and they're a charity who have sort of you've been liaising with, who have also been speaking to Stephen. How? Because there's a process, isn't there now?
Yeah.
And so how does that work?
So we know that us just giving Stephen money and saying go do something, it's not that simple. Because otherwise there wouldn't be homelessness. You just give people money and say, sort it out. But that's not that simple. So we're working with professionals, the Booth Centre, and we're liaising with them directly, and we'll check up with them every so often how Stephen's getting along, and he can get the help he needs from everyone who can help him.
It is so lovely to obviously hear, with what's gone on this week, the amount of acts of kindness that we're getting told to us, that we're seeing on the news and everything like that. And is Stephen still with us? Can I just check, is Stephen still there? Stephen, I mean, one of the things that we've heard as well, you've had quite a few potential job offers. Am I right in thinking you've got an interview later today?
Yeah, I'm meeting somebody today for a restaurant interview. Yeah, I'm meeting him later on this afternoon for a drink and going for an interview restaurant. Yeah.
Stephen, how does this feel then?
Hello?
Because we've spoken to people that have slept rough for years, and they say that they feel very invisible within a community, and that just because you're sitting on the side of a street and find yourself in that situation, that you just see life passing you by and nobody looks at you. How does it feel now to suddenly be getting all these offers of help and people talking to you and wanting to know your story?
Well, whilst I've been waiting just for you to come on air, I mean, I've had a lot of people just come stop and shake my hand. I've got people stood off now at the side of the camera wanting to come and shake my hand and talk to me. I've had people come and asking me for selfies and everything. So, you know, compared to, like you said, sat there where everyone just like doesn't take any notice to you, to where everyone does notice you now, it is weird. It's different.
And are you looking forward to starting this process now? Because it's not, you can't wave a magic wand and everything will be better.
Definitely waiting to get it sorted out and definitely waiting to get it done. Yeah.
I mean, listen, we wish you the best luck, Stephen. We've got to say as well, a shout out to Graham Seddon. He set up a Just Giving page for you to help raise money to support you. And I think, if I'm right in saying, when we last checked, £36,000 has been raised. And I know that money is also going to be with the Booth Centre, obviously helping you get on your feet and hopefully changing your life for the better.
I'm really pleased. I mean, I've had another guy on the phone who's done another page for me as well, and he's raised over £20,000 as well. And you know, just my love goes out to them all, to Dave and the people that have put pages together. You know, thank you very much. I'd just like to say thank you to all of you for all your kind comments and everything. You know,
Stephen,
I don't know what anyone else would have done, I suppose.
Well, you say that, but it also takes a very special person. And thank you very much for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing where life takes you.
Good luck with the
next
interview.
Chapter.
Good luck today, Stephen. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
James, you're 50 years of age. Tell us your whole experience of this and your battle to have this accepted.
Well, I write about men's health issues quite a lot, and I was having the symptoms which I felt were quite similar to the menopause. I consulted my male friends, none of whom had heard about the andropause, or the manopause as it's
And
known.
did they kind of laugh at you? Or?
Well, they just didn't believe it was something that was real. And I spoke to my female friends and they all laughed and thought, well, that's our thing. You know, that's not something that men particularly suffer from. So I just started exploring it as something. And I was having these various issues to do with anger and I was exhausted a lot of the time, and I felt...
So your mood had changed?
Yeah, my mood had certainly changed. I was becoming quite irrationally angry about things, and I spoke to a lot of my male friends about this, and they were also, you know, from age 40 upwards, were having similar sorts of problems.
So once you did start talking to your male friends, one by one they start going, well, actually, yes, I have been feeling a bit like that.
Yeah, and the thing with men is they hate to talk about this stuff. They don't like to admit that they're feeling down or they're feeling angry because it's a sign of weakness, so they'll bottle everything up.
And I just soldier on, and I'm so happy all the time. No one would have an idea. No one would have a clue.
Was it affecting
what
your
I'm going. See, doesn't even listen. Doesn't even listen.
Was it affecting your libido, James? Because that's a lot of women talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, it can. I mean, because you're feeling exhausted a lot of the time and tired, yeah, I suppose your energy levels are so much lower that it's just harder to get, you know,
and you have
in
a
the
partner.
mood. Yeah.
So how was she coping? Was she kind of going, oh, don't be ridiculous with the menopause?
No, I mean,
together?
she's very sensitive about it, and she's quite knowledgeable about medical issues, and she was suggesting that it could be something like that, you know, and not to dismiss anything. So it's very easy to sort of dismiss those feelings as just either depression or you're a grumpy old man. But actually what Marion does is she does a full blood test and she tests you for everything and your hormones. And if your hormone levels are dropping, then that is an issue in itself, and it's not necessarily to do with depression.
Okay, you went to see Marion, and I think it's fair to say that you feel Marion turned you around.
I think so, yeah. She's very thorough in her diagnosis and her investigation of how you're feeling, and it's not just to do with your mental health, it's to do with your physicality, your lifestyle. All these things play in on how you're feeling.
So we all have a role to play in this, Marion. So do you approach this the same way as the approach is for many women, which is hormone replacement?
Oh, I approach it exactly the same way. But before I do anything like that, I really have to get to know my patient and the person I'm treating. So I have to exclude a lot of, you know, maybe other causes. And in a case like James, or I've had quite a lot of patients, male patients, when I've excluded everything, then it's fairly obvious that, and the testosterone levels are low, I would replace with testosterone or with DHA or a combination of both. But each patient is totally case by case. Each patient is unique and each treatment is unique. Yes. But it is with hormones.
Marion, it's interesting. I'm just looking at some of the comments coming in here from our viewers, predominantly female at the moment. And, you know, they're saying, really, you know, anything we can do, men can do it more dramatically. Menopause, is it just like man flu? You know,
well, do you know what gets me? What gets me? No, what gets me? No,
how
exactly.
How do you change that view?
I could not sit here and criticise, nor could John, any female condition
you're right.
in that way. So it absolutely amazes me that there's not some sort of empathy or some sort of realisation that if this happens to one species of human being, it obviously the same cycle has to happen to the other one.
And no wonder men are feeling that they can't come forward and admit to these things, because there's a lot of guilt around it and a lot of prejudice. Women will often laugh or criticise or just not take it seriously, and that's really important that men stand up and, you know, and actually go out there and if you're feeling miserable, if you're feeling low, if you're feeling depressed, go to your doctor.
Because the thing is, Marion, just final word with you, if you go to your doctor and you describe the sort of symptoms that James was describing there, they may say it's a bit of depression or it's a bit of inflammation or it's a bit of whatever. Overall, surely the approach has to be different. We've got to maybe assume that it's the menopause, do that blood test and check out those hormones before treatment comes into play.
I think that's hugely important, that we absolutely, by men and by women, we have to check hormone levels, because too often people are told that they're depressed and it's not, they're diagnosed with depression, and that's not the case. And nobody wants to be depressed, and they want their vitality back. And with balanced hormones, you know, they can really have it back. And I think every doctor needs to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Doctor, appreciate your take on things.
Fascinating.
And James, thank you so much for talking about it, because it's lovely to get it out there and get the debate going. And you're feeling good? You're feeling better?
Feeling much better, much lighter, much less anxious, much less sort of irritable.
Going to get you on some of those.
You need some.
Going to get you on some of those hormones.
Mark Pearson was making his way back home during a busy commute when he passed a complete stranger. In that split second, his life changed forever after she falsely accused him of sexual assault.
Well, on Friday, Mark was found not guilty, and he joins us now alongside Erin Pitsey, who has been his avid campaigner.
The day that this took place was December the 3rd, 2014, 6:40, your regular commute. The amount of times you walked through Waterloo Station at that time, hundreds of times. Do you actually remember that day in particular?
No, nothing. It was just an ordinary day going home from work.
So the first you knew about any of this was later on. This was on the 5th of February 2015 when you got a knock at the door.
Sure.
And it was the police?
Yeah, that was 2 months after the so-called event.
And what did they say?
They just said, can we come in? There were 6 of them, what I now know is called a Trojan team. And they go around London picking people up who are wanted by the police, the transport police.
And so you must have been thinking, gosh, at some point, I mean, I'll be very fully cooperative, which you were. You went down to the police station, you gave them all the information that you had. Like you said, you don't remember this day in question because there were so many similar days like it. Nothing stuck out in your head. And you must have been just thinking at this point, common sense will prevail. Surely they'll realise that they have got the wrong person.
I mean, I had the option not to say anything. My solicitor, the duty solicitor, said you could either say no comment or you could be fully cooperative, which is what I did. Because any normal person would assume that common sense would prevail. They would look at the CCTV footage which they had, compare that with what the woman was saying, and conclude that it was preposterous. It was just nonsense what she was saying.
So it was 4 months after that that you were then phoned by your solicitor and he said, you're going to be charged.
Yeah.
And then this is going to go to court.
That was the worst day of my life.
And there were no witnesses. There was no forensic evidence to this. The biggest bit of evidence that they actually had was the CCTV footage. And now, in her statement that she gave to the police, it was 2 to 3 seconds that this moment happened on passing.
Well, she said she's a well-known actress in her 60s. And claimed that you sexually assaulted her penetratively for 2 or 3 seconds, and this was followed, she insisted, by a violent blow to her left shoulder. And since this has all come to light, and we've all seen the CCTV footage, it is impossible for that to have happened.
It totally contradicts what she's saying. And what I don't understand is why the CPS, even the police, didn't see that. I mean, I hold the CPS more responsible because we actually had the CCTV footage analysed by an expert at Warwick University, a guy called Jacob Blythe, who I thank, and the CPS still proceeded with the trial.
The CPS have said in their statement there was sufficient evidence for this case to proceed to court and progress to a trial. We respect the decision of the jury. They're saying there is evidence. We've got the evidence here in front of us. So where is this going wrong? There seems to be a serious problem here, doesn't there?
It's a systemic problem with the CPS. There's something gone radically wrong with their processes.
Well, on analysis of that CCTV footage, you didn't break stride. You passed her, possibly without even brushing her. You passed her in half a second.
Sure.
And yet all of this is supposed to have taken place. You have a bag. You've got your hand on the strap with your right hand, I think, and then your left hand you're carrying a newspaper. So you must have thought,
even if I had more time, logistically, it's not possible to do what she accused me of. I would have to have walked forwards while leaning backwards.
So what has this done to you then? Because, I mean, you've lived with this for a year. You've been named. She remains anonymous, not named at all. So as a person, as a man, how does this feel to be accused of something that you haven't done?
I should have remained anonymous as well, although I chose eventually to give my name to the newspapers because I wanted to publicise this to stop it happening to other people. It should never have happened to me, and for all I know, it's happening to other people right now.
Well, it took the jury 90 minutes to decide, 9 women, 3 men, to reach their verdict and to reject her story. Erin, you're a campaigner for women's issues. You started the first domestic
the first refuge
rescue
in the world.
centre in the world.
Yeah.
But this time you're on the side of the man.
And I've always said it's generational family violence. It affects both men and women, and particularly children. And in a case like this, we had a mutual friend. I didn't know Mark a year ago. We had a mutual friend, and she suggested that he phone me for help. And when he came to see me, I was terribly worried about him because he was in such a state of shock. And people die, they commit suicide in situations like this. And you had to have help, didn't you? You had to go to the doctor.
I had therapy myself.
I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised.
And looking at that evidence, what conclusion did you come to?
Well, I knew from the beginning, as soon as he told me what happened, it's a false allegation. And one of the problems is that the police, and I've been on other cases where they've said that they don't have the right to drop things. Anything to do with sex or sexual abuse and rape has to go to the CPS. And the CPS have unfortunately, a very, very jaundiced look at anything to do with men. And I've been watching men targeted now for several years, dragged through the courts, humiliated and really persecuted.
Now, we've been following their charitable success here on This Morning for almost a decade now.
After setting up the Murray Parish Trust in 2014, acting power couple Jim Murray and Sarah Parish have raised almost $5 million to support seriously ill kids across the country.
And in recognition of their incredible work, last week the pair were both awarded MBEs and they join us on the sofa. So obviously, a congratulations is in order. Congratulations.
Thank
you.
What have you done with the bag? Why are you not wearing them everywhere you go? I think you should have them on. I'd be literally wearing it around.
They're actually quite big, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're
They're
big.
quite chunky. You wouldn't wear it. Mine's in the office. I don't know where yours is. Where's yours?
It's downstairs, Lou.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You both look great. Jim, look at you in the kilt.
You're
You look
getting
wonderful.
married again.
I know. It is a lovely picture, isn't it?
We took the opportunity to renew our vows. Right?
And you should have. You look beautiful.
Oh, so lovely.
Thank you.
And what was it like meeting His Majesty the King?
Oh,
It was great.
It was great. He was so lovely. He was really, really interested in what we were doing, and we had a really good chat with him, didn't we?
We got double the time with
double
him.
time, yeah.
Because we
Double
both
time,
went
yeah.
up
There's two of you.
together.
Two of
Because
you,
there's
yeah.
two of us.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's amazing.
He actually thanks you, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Comes and
And he
thanks
knows, he's done his background work. He knows about the charity. He knows everything about you. It was a really lovely. It was a real privilege,
Yeah, it
wasn't
was.
it, and an honour. Yeah.
So talk us through where we are with the charity now.
Go on.
Well, so we were the Murray Parish Trust, which was, as we've just said, we raised around £5 million for paediatric facilities across the north. That's what south even the south. Sorry, I'm from the north. And that title, if you like, was associated very much with that effort. And we have noticed along our journey there's a huge need for the mental well-being of seriously ill children and their families. Huge, and there is no charity that's solely dedicated to that in the country. So we thought we would become that charity and step into that role. And because of that, we needed a new name, a bold new mission, and we become the Imagine This charity, where we imagine people, we invite people to imagine, what it's like to be going through that if you're unlucky enough to have a seriously ill child, but B, more importantly, imagine a world where there's hope and the support for every single seriously ill child and their family in this country. So that's the plan. By 2035, we want to support them all.
We'd like to reach every seriously ill child by 2035.
So that's your mission.
That's our
what
mission.
You're going to
That's what we
achieve.
want
have accepted that mission.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. So beautiful. And obviously it's all in memory of your daughter, Ella Jane, who passed away in 2009, aged just 9 months.
Yeah.
So when you talk about mental health of children, what happens? Do they normally get cured of cancer, but nobody looks at the deeper side of things? And
yeah, exactly that, Alison. Obviously, with the NHS, their priority is to medically look after the child and make them better, whatever their medical... The mental health of the child goes by the wayside because there's no time. There's no time. They don't have the money. And a happy child and a creative child is going to get better much more quicker than a child stuck in bed not doing anything all day. So what we hope to do is bring in drama, art, music therapy, yoga, meditation, things that children can get behind and use their imagination, use their creativity. And that just sort of gives them a little lift, and their family as well. More often than not, either the mum or dad's going to have to give up work to look after the kid, the sibling becomes a carer, the whole it's like
putting a time bomb in a family and setting it off.
That was such a good point you made as well. I didn't think about that. Like, you don't think about the aftercare, because it's one thing to look after these kids mentally when they're there.
Yeah.
But then a lot of them could have PTSD further down the line.
Many of them do. They go on, they have serious problems in life with their mental health if it's not nipped in the bud at the beginning. So we want to get in there right at the beginning, make sure they're looked after, their brain is cared for as well as the illness that they have, and just set them on the right course, really.
I love the fact that you're using what you know. Acting, dancing, music, drama. I mean, I've seen the change, and you see children go in to do acting. They're like a little shell. They just literally open up. It's so soothing and so great for mental health.
And we've got these amazing people working for us who can adapt all these classes to children who can't even get out of bed. They can adapt anything they do to suit any child. So we really don't want to leave any stone unturned. We want every child to get this benefit.
Speaking of adapting, it is incredible what you've done, because you've set up this charity, a very successful charity. And then, like anything, charities evolve, right? And the need evolves. So to be able to carry on doing your jobs and to pivot, how hard is that?
Well, it's hard, but we're surrounded by...
We've got a great team.
supporters. We have a lot of volunteers, and we sort of pride ourselves a little bit on being a charity where very, very little of people's donations goes on the operating costs. It all goes to the cause, a huge percentage.
We're still a kitchen table charity, really, where we've got a few employees, but we try and keep the spend to a minimum.
But to pivot on the mission as well, which is quite...
It is.
It's hard to underestimate how hard that is.
Yeah, the mental health of children, especially over the last 10 years, has spiralled out of control. And that's just well children. Seriously ill children, it's even worse. So, we thought this is a real gap in the system that we've got to fill it.
I'm not sure whether it's spiraled, it's just suddenly there's a spotlight on it.
Yeah.
Especially since COVID, as you were saying earlier, since lockdown, the alarm bells are going off about how much need and support, especially seriously ill children, need. Imagine that news landing on your doorstep.
But it's not just the children as well, it's their families, siblings, parents as well. You're going to help them as well, aren't you?
Yeah, the whole thing.
How's you got, what, a 15-year-old now?
Yeah,
Nell,
Now,
She's good.
She's
right. The kitchen table isn't more like this. I'll be there in a minute. Those two.
What time did she get up?
I can guarantee she won't be watching this.
She won't be watching this. We told her we were on. She was like, yeah, right, great. What channel?
But we hope that she'll do a bit of work for charity. I mean, we sort of said to her, look, you get the word out there at the school, because we're always trying to get people involved, because we can't do it without the public's help.
We rely solely on public support.
So we've said to her, make it your mission, get round that school, make sure all the parents get on board.
You know what? It's going in. She's watching you. She's watching everything. You're juggling life, you're juggling work. I know you're in a Netflix series together, but you're not working together.
No.
We're in the same show, but we don't have
any scenes together.
At all?
No, they missed the PR trick there, didn't they?
I know, it's quite nice.
What's that about? Can you tell us about that?
Geek Girl.
Geek Girl.
Season 2 and 3.
Yeah, 2 and 3. So it was on, wasn't it, last year, Geek Girl?
Yeah, it was.
It's a series of books that have been made into a drama series. It's great.
About a neurodivergent teenager who becomes a model.
A model, yeah.
Wow. I'm the headmaster. Sarah is the head of the model agency.
Oh, wow. Both heads.
Both heads.
Both heads.
And can you tell us about... Oh, go on.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what he's going to say.
Star-studded concert.
Yeah, who's going there? Are we going?
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be really good. So we're doing a big Christmas concert. It's our first sort of big event out of Hampshire.
We're both free.
Yeah, oh, you'll be coming, don't worry. Who have we got? We've got David Tennant, Olivia Colman, David Melder Staunton, Hugh Bonneville, Amanda Holden.
That's quite heavyweight.
All coming to read and perform.
Yeah, they're all going to perform.
If you could bring out one of your tricks.
Yeah,
we could be runners.
Yeah.
You could be runners. We've got Sylvia Young's dance school coming to do some... Oh, it's going to be brilliant. It's going to be so good. So tickets will go on sale in October. And we've got a golf day.
We have a golf day at Goodwood as well.
Yeah,
People
so
want to put a team together.
Yeah.
Goodwood.
Are you not doing a fishing day? Because you love your fishing.
We should do a fishing day.
I will do a fishing day at some point.
Yeah, you do that.
You can go and do a fishing day.
Pretty much how.
And you know the King likes fishing as well. You're in with the King now.
He did bring that up, actually, in our chat.
Yeah. I may have worn a tie
with fish on it.
Fish
With fish on it.
Yeah,
And he
loved it.
Yes, he recognised the time. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Does he fish then?
He does, yeah, he does. He's a big salmon fisherman and a big advocate for salmon conservation. So, yeah, we had a brief chat.
Well, I bet...
They were like that, move
I bet
on.
you were like,
I was like that. Come on, hurry up.
want to go for dinner. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Best
Thank
of
you
luck
very
with it.
much.
Lovely
Imagine
chatting to
this is the charity. Everyone look it up.
Yeah, get behind us.
Yeah,
It's
get
going to be
behind
great.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
We're delighted to welcome into the studio our new mate. He's Paul Sturgis. He's from Loughborough, and he is officially Britain's tallest man. And in case you look at Paul here and you say, oh, whatever, Ruth, just let's see how tall we're talking here.
So I'm 5'7", Paul, and I've got my heels, so I'm probably about 6 foot with my heels.
Yep.
And you are
7'7" and a little bit, yeah.
7'7" and a little
And a little
bit.
bit, yeah.
Is the little bit still
Excellent.
important?
Yeah, it counts.
Paul is
That's amazing,
7'7", and there we go. And it is a big mantle to carry, being the tallest man in Britain. How do you feel about that, Paul?
I mean, it's nice to have that little bit of notoriety. I'm already in the Guinness Book of World Records for being the world's tallest professional basketball player. So I guess this is like another record for me. Hopefully it opens a few more opportunities for me. Obviously, being the world's tallest basketball player led me to the Harlem Globetrotters and all those kind of opportunities.
I just want to talk about a few of the practicalities here. We've got a pair of your gym shoes that we're talking about. What size are we talking about here?
Size 19.
19.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
So how
what we are.
difficult is it for you to get shoes and clothes? And
It's actually, the clothes is not that hard. If I'm in America, they have like a lot of bigger, taller people over there, so I can actually go to some shops and get it off the rack, really. But shoes is quite hard. Obviously, I've got to search on the internet. The team is sponsored by Adidas, so I get sent a lot of stuff from them. So it's not as hard as you would think, but harder than the average person, I guess.
Okay, so that's shoes and clothes. All right, what about other things? What about cars, for instance? I would imagine it's not every car that you would be suited to.
That's the worst thing, really.
Getting a taxi must be horrendous.
I mean, I don't drive here in England because I've not been able to find a driving instructor with a car big enough for me to learn to drive in. So that's obviously one of the big perils I'm going through right now. And obviously going through doorways and things like that is obviously quite difficult for me. But obviously I take the negatives with the positives, because obviously there's a lot of positives. But obviously driving cars, going through doorways, showers, things like that.
travelling, because you go all over the world with the Harlem Globetrotters. So what about plane seats?
Well, the airlines are always really, really good to me. I get upgraded. I would say 95% of the time I've travelled first class or business class, courtesy of the airlines.
They upgrade you for a bit more
Yeah, definitely no complaints
What about
there.
when you were a kid then, Paul? Were you an extra tall kid very quickly, or did this happen in your teenage years that you started getting so much taller than that?
I was tall. I was one of the taller people in my class, but I wasn't like overly tall until I was about 15. And then between like 15 and 16 a little bit, I grew a foot in that year, and it was pretty rapid.
And was that ever a problem for you at school? I mean, people often talk if you're a bit different than anybody else, you know, it opens you up to some bullying or name-calling.
To be honest, no. Obviously, I was always surrounded by a good group of friends. My upbringing was always really, really positive. Obviously, I could have shied away and obviously gone negative, and I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I definitely use it as a positive. I was always really, really sporty, so obviously it was an advantage in some sports, obviously basketball.
I wouldn't argue with you. I have to stay on the court.
But what I think's really good with you is that, I mean, you could so easily be coming on here to talk about, you know, ways in which this works against you, but you seem to be a very positive sort of guy, and you're saying, look, well, this has made me me, and it's given me a lot of opportunities in life as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really, really proud of who I am, and obviously the height makes me that. I actually use my height as, to go into like primary schools. I do like a lot of visits in primary schools, obviously do basketball with the kids, but I do an assembly where I talk about like anti-bullying, healthy eating and things like that. So obviously it's easy for me to use my height to portray that positive message and obviously be proud of who you are.
Paul, come on over here. I want you to come over to this table here, because what we've done is these are my snacks for the day, laid out here. But basically, accumulatively, if you were in training, how many calories have we got here that would maintain your energy and your power?
I usually aim for about 7,000 calories when I'm on tour. because, I mean, obviously we play every day and obviously training a couple of hours a day, so being such a tall guy, I have to maintain, and obviously I want to gain a little bit of weight as well, so obviously we're running every night to playing games, so I have to make sure I'm eating a lot of food, and as you can see...
You're a furnace. You're just burning all of this up.
Burn the calories, yeah.
Could I ask you, right, OK, the sporting career, it looks like it's over, it's come to an end. What about the future? How, then, would you adapt work-wise for the future?
Well, I mean, basketball's still there for me, but right now I'm obviously expanding my horizons a little bit and obviously maybe exploring an idea of going into acting. I joined an agency a couple of weeks ago and she seems pretty positive about...
Here or in America?
Here. And obviously she seems quite positive about some work that's upcoming in America, so fingers crossed that kind of takes off. I mean, there's a niche in the market for tall people, I guess, and I'd be perfect to fill that void, I
Wouldn't
guess.
You just?
You would be just an absolute pleasure meeting you, my friend. Thank you. Thank
you
you very much indeed. That is Paul Sturgis. He is, and this may not come as much of a surprise to you, the tallest man in Britain, and that is official.
Yeah, like, that's not the 80s throwback thing, OK? That's not... We're celebrating football, we're celebrating England football, we're celebrating some brilliant footballers this morning, because you may remember back in March, we met the amazing England men's amputee team. They were looking to raise £30,000 so they get to the Euros. Well, they raised nearly 40,000, Chelsea.
Yeah, they made it to France, coming fourth in the competition. And now another team of sporting heroes want to live out their dreams, the Lioness amputee team.
Well, we need to help them out. We need you to help them out. I'm delighted to say Rebecca, Shelby and Sarah are here to tell us all about it. How are you?
Hello.
So good.
Great.
So excited to see everyone. And
so we've got to get you ladies to the World Cup in Colombia.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You're going to bring it
It's
home.
coming home all day.
That's what I like to hear, Rebecca. Yeah. How much do you need to raise?
£30,000, I believe. I think it's more of a, you know, it's a continual support in the sense of, you know, this is just the start. This is just the foundation. Us starting this is the foundation. We've got, you know, 3-4-year-olds that are coming up, and if they've got that opportunity to be supported throughout their childhood and into their adulthood and bring home more trophies, then there's nothing else we can ask for. So,
Shelbs, we'll start with all your stories, but Shelbs, can we have your story? Because you were actually a professional footballer before you had your leg amputated, weren't you?
Yes, so I was due to go to America on a scholarship and kind of do my studies and stuff over there. I was then diagnosed with a really rare form of bone cancer in my pelvis, so I had to kind of put it on the back burner, but I was fine. I'd been misdiagnosed for so long, so I was happy that something was able to be done. And then I got through that. Unfortunately, it came back again when I was 21 and had to have the left side of my pelvis removed, leaving my left leg paralysed. But then had a lot of complications because I don't like doing things easy. So then ended up getting a blood clot and lost my leg. But now my leg looks like a shark. He's called Bruce, and everyone loves Bruce. So.
Is that what you call it?
Everyone loves
the shark from Finding Nemo.
Oh, yeah. Shelbs, I love you. I love your outlook. I love your outlook. Well,
Sarah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because you all have different stories, different backstories, but when you're in a team, that's what unites you, one goal. So it's an incredible kind of powerful team you have. You've all been through a lot. Talk to us about everyone on it.
Yeah, it's strange because when you hang out with a bunch of amputees, like you just kind of have this kind of unwritten rule that you understand each other, and regardless of how you became amputees, it's just this common thing that you have, that you shared experience, and you just get it. Like everyone kind of gets it. So I think it brings you closer just from the off, like even just having that. But yeah, as a team, you know, like you say, we've all got our different stories, different reasons of, you know, why we got here, but
the feelings behind are all
similar,
absolutely, how we adapt and overcome. So,
and Sarah, you say you found sport quite tricky growing up. So can you believe you've fallen into like a football team and you're about to go to possibly a World Cup?
It is insane, yeah. Yeah, I always avoided sports when I was younger. I've worn a prosthetic since I was 1 year old. And it was just, you know, there weren't the...
Cute baby.
That's me.
That's you.
Yeah, that's
my
me.
word.
There weren't the advances in the prosthetics that there are nowadays available. So it was just too tricky. And I think sort of as a defence mechanism, I just said, I don't want to do it. I'm not sporty. I'm gonna, you know, leave it to the others. And I sort of avoided it. for a long, long time until, this team came along and I just thought, why not?
I don't know how you girls do it.
We try to reel them in and then they get stuck and they can't leave.
We just fall in love with the game.
You reel them in,
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, he's stuck now.
Do you know what's amazing about it, though, is when you watch the sport itself, how incredibly technical it is.
Yeah.
Because Rebecca, just describe how you play at home, because you're all on your crutches, and there are a lot of rules around what you can use, not use. Tell everyone about that.
Exactly. So basically, every amputee has to take their prosthesis off. So we have to use crutches, and all goalies are upper limb, and then if their limb is a certain length, they have to have it strapped so they can't use it as an advantage. And the physical endurance it takes to actually get up and down on a pitch is crazy.
Your shoulders must be in bits at the end of the game.
Absolutely.
Rebecca, look, you made it to the team because of Eurovision and Sam Ryder. Is that right?
How did
that happen?
I tell you what, this is a bit of a crazy situation. Eurovision has got a lot to answer for.
Welcome to disability sport, by the way. This is what happens. Disability sport, you'll find so many similar stories to, we joined. How? Well.
So basically, Sam Ryder, he wrote a song, I Am a Mountain, for Ottobock, and
song.
he actually wrote it before he became massive. But he wrote it around our amputee community and all the struggles that people have faced and the challenges that they've overcome. So he was really inspired by that. So when he was asked to go to Eurovision, he brought us all on stage with us because he said, right, okay, I wrote this song for them. They have to be with us on stage.
Amazing.
And
did he see you climb Kilimanjaro then? Was that it? Or
no,
you climbed Kilimanjaro,
I know. I did that in 2019. That was an awesome experience. I was having a pretty tough time at the time. I was separating with the children's father and going through some mental challenges and everything. And I did that, and it really kind of got me thinking that our mind within reason is much stronger than our physical form.
Doesn't prove she can do anything.
We can.
She all the time doubts
all
herself.
of us can. Do you know what I mean? But I grew up in the 80s, so there was not much awareness around, there wasn't any. I didn't know any disabled people. And we want to do it for those little girls, don't we?
Absolutely.
That's what you're doing, actually, is I think possibly the most important thing. Inspiring young people, let them know it's possible. We want to get you... You went to the Euros. You want to go to the World Cup in Colombia. So this is your chance. Speak to the nation, Shelby. I'll let you drive it here, okay? There they are. Camera 2 over there, the red light.
Number 2. Oh, I got
Tell them what you need and how you're going to get it.
So we need all the support we can get, not just financially, but just getting it out there, getting all those little girls, able, disabled. Everybody deserves to play and love football the way we do. Football's been my life growing up, and if it means that I can provide that for someone else, then these are our jobs. We don't look at going, oh well, we're going out to do a job to compete. We're going out to inspire the next generation, and without your support and without the nation, and we hope to inspire a nation, not just the disabledness, not just the ableness, but we always say disabled doesn't mean unabled. So if we've got the support behind us, then we've got nothing stopping us from bringing trophies home.
We want to bring it home as well.
You want to bring it home, and on a very practical level, 40 grand gets a company name on your shirt,
We
for the
think
World
so.
Cup,
Yeah, we think so.
So if somebody out there wants... I don't know if I'm allowed to do this. I'm sure there's some guidelines. I can't do this. I don't care.
It isn't just kits. Like you say,
it's everything.
It's not just kits. It is crutches. It's, gloves. It's
Travel,
for women, sports bras. Something as simple as that you don't think about. But then when you go, oh, actually... they're expensive.
Ladies, you are so inspiring. As I said it earlier, your disabilities, you've actually used them as your superpower, and you are inspiring so many people today. Thank you so much.
Get over there, because it'd be nice for England to win a trophy, wouldn't it?
Will you come back and let us know how you get on?
100%, we will.
Invite me for a good time. All right. We'll be there.
I'm sensing that. I'm sensing that. Thank you so much. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
We really are.
Since 1999, Pride of Britain has celebrated the truly extraordinary achievements of people of all ages, from children of courage to life-saving emergency workers and people who make the world a better place in their local community.
So it's in its 25th year now. The awards took place on Monday evening. Amongst the winners was 8-year-old Florrie Bach, whose unwavering positivity and bravery as she awaits a lung transplant morning has seen her honoured with a Child of Courage award.
Please welcome the one and only Florrie Bach.
Please consider becoming a bone marrow and organ donor, as well as giving blood. It saved mine and so many of my friends' lives. It could save many more. I am doing this for all of the children with cancer that can't be here tonight. Have happy days, thank you.
Absolute privilege and honour to award you the Pride of Britain Award.
And we're joined by Florrie and her parents, Andrew and Stacey, and Pride of Britain host Carol Vorderman this morning. Guys, I have to say, what a night. What
Incredible, wasn't it?
Just incredible.
Can we just have a moment? Because 25 years you've been doing this, Carol Vorderman, you're still crying. It's an amazing thing.
She does it to me.
Yeah.
What's so remarkable, Florrie, about you, and we'll hear your story tomorrow night, but also now, it's just that the stuff you do is about the other children. And it's just... Oh, it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having a moment.
No, you're right, Carol. I actually had... So my little boy, Milo, is 8, same age as Florrie. And I had a chat to him about Florrie last night as we were having our baked potatoes and saying how amazing you were. And you're absolutely right. What a positive human being.
You are extraordinary, Mrs. And she's very persuasive.
Florrie, tell us what the night was like for you, because you've been in on this morning and we'd spoken and you'd met Alison and Joel when you came in. But what was Monday like?
Monday, this week.
Yes, this week. Probably a good one to start. And then we'll do next week in a minute. What was Monday night at the Pride of Britain like?
It was really fun. I loved getting the award and seeing Joel again.
Yeah. He was so excited to see you, of course. But you went to visit him at the Masked Singer too, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was really fun. I loved hearing the music and I got to go backstage.
Backstage too.
Did you get to meet everybody?
I didn't get to meet the people in the costumes.
Oh, no. Well,
that's secret, though. Secrets. You've got to keep that
Yeah.
secret, haven't you?
I can't tell you who's wearing the costume. I can't tell you what costumes there are.
OK.
So I got to see some of the costumes.
Which was amazing. Because when you got told that you won a Pride of Britain, well, you're a big fan of music and singers.
Yeah.
That was really special too, wasn't it? Who did you meet and who told you about your prize and your award?
I met Perry from Little Mix.
Oh, my days! How special is Perry, by the way?
She's so cool.
So
She's
cool.
one of my favourite singers.
And this was the most wonderful way of doing it, because you thought you were just watching a video.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Yeah. She asked me if she could see me.
And did that seem a little strange? Because you're thinking,
Yeah,
I'm
I was
watching
like, I'm watching a music video. Then she just came out of the TV, it looked like. She's like, hello. Where did she come from?
And now she's your best friend.
Yeah, she's my best friend now.
What can you say about that? And what about the Prime Minister? You met the Prime Minister the other day too, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was really fun. I said to him,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the new Prime Minister. I'm going to take over.
I would vote for you.
We all
I'm
would.
Sure.
My new friend that I met at Pride of Britain, he was like, give my dad a new paycheck.
Oh.
Give my dad some more money.
That was to the Prime Minister as well.
Hospital.
That was little Jacob.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jacob the pilot.
Yeah,
I
Jacob.
think he's on Good Morning Britain
he's my
tomorrow, isn't
friend.
he, Jacob?
His dad's a paramedic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you all gave the Prime Minister quite a hard time.
Excellent. She can. She's a superstar. But you're also raising lots of money for your charity as well. Tell me about your charity. What's it called?
It's called Be More Fab. It stands for Florence Save Buck. My initials. It's right there.
Yeah.
And what does it do, your charity?
My charity helps other children like me.
Yeah.
And when you're missing out on school, like I am, when we are big enough, we're gonna get some teachers, and now we have enough money to get free teachers for our charity because of how much we raised the other night.
Wow.
That's brilliant, because we raised loads of money, didn't we?
Those teachers will be able to go into the hospitals and help with the children and give them some education and stuff?
And sometimes even at home.
Even at home
so
too.
providing tuition at home for children that are off, but they can't go attend school because their immune systems are too compromised, or they're still having treatment. So to be able to provide online tuition and some tuition in the homes for those children, as well as then support in schools by going in to talk through the challenges of having a child that's diagnosed with cancer, actually being able to explain to a group of... So, for example, when Florence was first diagnosed and she was 5, and they had to tell a group of Year 1 children what cancer is. Why? And so that's a really difficult thing for a school. So actually we want to be able to provide that support with schools so we can go in, do workshops, assemblies, be able to explain it in a child-friendly way, which is what Florence has done, recorded lots of videos explaining what cancer is so that children, it seems a little bit more relatable.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons we've all got to know you so well, because you've got such a massive online following. You're an influencer, aren't you? Like all the superstars. Carol, it's always an extraordinarily special evening.
It really, really is, isn't it?
And but 25 years, I mean, we talked about Peter Willis, of course, your great friend whose idea with you was the Pride of Britain, who's sadly not with us.
Yeah.
And as a celebration of the silver anniversary of Pride of Britain, it was one of the best I've been to.
Was it, Ben?
Yeah, it really
feel
was.
That? I felt that. And the wonderful thing about Pride of Britain is not only these superstars, as you rightly identify, Florrie, but we also, give awards, for instance, to the campaigners about the infected blood scandal, and we raise issues which are incredibly important, politically and otherwise. And they have their opportunity to say to everybody and to know that they are recognised, that we see them when they have fought for 30, 40 years for truth. So all sorts of incredible people. I mean, lots of happy moments. It's a celebration, isn't it, Florrie?
Yeah, everyone, had really nice stories. Everyone was so nice.
Yeah.
That we all became friends.
Yeah. And I say that we have our winners' dinner, don't we, the night before, where we go and we meet everyone. And everybody meets the other winners.
Yeah.
Did you find that was good, Andrea?
It was lovely, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. And you see the other people. So when you go into the room, it's like a team.
Exactly. We felt like that settled everyone's nerves massively, and I think just everybody then being in it together and just hearing other people's stories was the most inspiring night, sitting here and then being able to talk to each other.
Because Florrie takes all this stuff in her stride, but Andrew and Stacey, I mean, going down the red carpet can be quite intimidating. It's intimidating for us doing it.
Yes.
But for you guys, how did you feel getting ready and going and doing it?
It felt really surreal, but we were just concentrating on Florence and Freddie and making sure they were OK, and Florence absolutely thrived on that red carpet.
Yeah, she did.
Freddie seemed a bit shell-shocked at some stages, but he loved it too, so...
So, Florrie, what was your favourite moment of the whole night? If you had to pick one.
I loved meeting everybody and, meeting the other winners, speaking to them and meeting some of the other people. I loved meeting the dance group, Diversity.
Yes.
Now they're going to do something. They're going to do something with our charity. They're going to do a dance workshop.
Amazing.
It's gonna be so fun. They've invited us to go to the place.
Oh, you'll love it.
It was very funny. Ash said to Florrie the night before, he said, well, I've got, 1.8 million followers on TikTok. Is that enough? She went, what about Perry? He said, well, he's about 2.5. It was like,
She definitely knows how to work a room.
She
for
does.
sure.
Takes no prisoners, do you,
Quite
Florrie?
right, too.
No, spectacular.
And now then, Florrie, on your rider, we were talking. Kat was talking to you the other night, and she was saying, "What would you like in your dressing room?"
I remember it was fruit and vegetables, especially strawberries, and Sour Patch apples, the ones that are really sour that make you close
Do
your eyes.
you love those sweets that sort of really make you wince?
Oh, it doesn't do that to me. I just love
You just love
sweet.
them. Well, look, we've got one last present that we're doing to Training Dressing, which we thought our boys love
Is
these.
this the one you wanted?
Do you like
Are
these?
these ones good?
They are gluten-free.
Are they?
They are gluten-free as well.
Oh, I'm into those.
Very simple.
It's actually called toxic waste. So if you don't wince eating these, I will be super impressed. But our boys love them. I know your boys love them as well.
They do.
Florrie, thank you for being so special, being fab. Can't wait to see what happens as well, because you announced the total from what we raised the other night for your charity, but also once the show goes out on Thursday night.
Absolutely.
Everyone else
You are
will
going straight to the GoFundMe.
I wonder how much we're going to have then.
You'll be able to wake up Friday morning and find out.
Yeah, be sweet. Thank you, Florrie.
Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Carol, lovely to see you.
Thank you.
What are we going to do now?
Well, I don't know. Should we just thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Now, you might think you're quite good at stain busting or pretty handy with a hoover, but I bet you've got nothing on our next guest.
Oh, no. Blood, brains and biohazards are all in a day's work for Lauren Baker, who is now taking us behind the scenes of her unique profession in a new documentary series, Crime Scene Cleaners.
Oh,
The maggots.
The maggots turned me a little bit. An extreme cleaner, Lauren Baker, joins us now. God, you do look absolutely so glamorous, I've got to say.
Thank you.
I mean, the maggots, what was that in?
That was in America, I believe. That wasn't one of our ones. That was in America.
So tell me a little bit about your job. Give us like a rough outline of a job description.
Dirt and grime. Dirt, grime, filth, anything, that can cause harm to the human body is what we do.
In all capacities?
Yes, yeah. So that could be where someone's bowels have exploded, to an unattended death where they've then passed. It could be needle sweeps, it could be hoarded properties, it could be mental health crisis cleaning, it could literally be anything.
Can we just go back? Did you say bowels had exploded?
Yeah. Yeah, so when you pass, your organs start to shut down. So sometimes when we attend properties and we attend unattended deaths, their bowels have erupted before they've actually passed, and then they've made their way to a place or they've tried to make their way to a place where they're going to be comfortable. And then, then you've got to clean up from that as
Hence
well.
the hazmat suit, hence the masks, hence all of this sort of stuff. We're not just making you... This is actually what you have to wear, because that could be really, really bad for you guys if any of those bodily fluids or any of that matter sort of gets into your bloodstream.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We have to make sure that we're fully equipped. Double-gloved mask, like respiratory masks, so we can actually breathe, and our goggles. And, we just brought these in as well, so they go right the way up your arm. So it's quite, it's quite tense.
How on earth do you start in this world, Lauren?
Good question. I done a really, really dirty property when I was just doing domestic cleaning, and I just wanted to help people. That was my sole thing. I wanted to help, and I knew that I could make a difference through
Because
cleaning.
I think that person had sort of a dementia, and clearly no one had been in the proper world, and no one was there to look after them.
Yeah, so they had carers, but unfortunately they got to a point where, with their condition, that they just didn't want the carers in there anymore. Right. And then the home just deteriorated, and then, that's where we stepped in. And that's when I soon realised that there is actually other people out there suffering like this. And then, obviously, hoarders then come about, and hoarding is a thing, and that can come in many shapes and sizes. So it is quite tense, it is, but I just wanted to help people.
But you've also been into, like, crime scenes as well and cleaned up after crimes.
Well, we do, like, unattended deaths, so that could be anything from a crime scene to someone just falling and passing at home.
Right.
Or it could be where there's been an assault or something like that has happened, and then we're the team to go in and clean that up afterwards.
And Lauren, do you go in there and kind of try and guess what happened as well, because obviously you've
Get
got
CSI on it,
yeah,
yeah.
you would.
Yeah.
Like my brain would start going, okay, well that's there and that's over there. What happened when?
Yeah, so we do sometimes, like, obviously, I think that's just natural instinct, isn't it? Like, anyone would sort of walk in and be like, oh, my God, how did that get there? And how did that get there? And you do sort of, yeah, I suppose you like to think you're a little bit of a... Detective, yeah, but obviously we're not. We're just cleaners.
Miss
but-
Marple with the gas mask.
Yeah.
You went to one hotel room that had, essentially, you're walking in, it is like a scene from a film. It's blood all over the place.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realise that these things do actually happen, like, on a day-to-day basis. We did attend a hotel room once and we was just told that there was a couple in there that some arguments had broke out. And yeah, it was, there was blood everywhere.
Wow.
I wonder, because it's one thing us talking about it and being sort of very stepped back from it, removed from it. But for you to actually go in there and do it and deal with these things on a daily basis, does it ever get quite tough for you, understanding that this is happening?
It can do. Your unattended deaths and suicides, more so than anything, they can be quite difficult. They can be quite tough ones to deal with.
How do you process it?
You become sort of not immune, but you do sort of just, it's a job at the end of the day and somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
Like, somebody's got to do that job.
You take great pride in it as well, don't you?
I do. I absolutely love my job and I wouldn't choose to do anything else now that I'm in this line of work. Like, I wouldn't sit there and think, oh, I'm going to go back to fully employed and go and work back in a pub or anything like that. I couldn't. I really enjoy what I do and I meet so many different people and I help so many different people on a weekly basis and that for me is everything. I love helping people.
Yeah, because you're so respectful in the dock as well. Like, you do a thing where you open all the windows.
Oh, I've got to open the windows. You've got to open the windows.
Like,
You've got to let them be free.
Let the
them
spirit
go. Like, you don't trap them in there because they passed in there. They didn't obviously want to pass in there.
Yeah.
So you've got to let them go. Like, undo the windows and let them be free. And I do walk in. I do have a little chat with them.
You're quite spiritual about that sort of thing. You believe that they're there?
Yeah, I believe in... Yeah, I don't believe that you pass and that's it, you're gone. Like, your spirit leaves you and you've got to release them, open the window. So I sort of walk in, I go, oh, hello, love, you all right? Like, if it's an old girl or if we've had, like, a gentleman or whatever, I'm like, oh, hello, mate, you all right? Like, you can go and be free now. And I open the windows and, yeah. I mean, my team sort of look at me and they're like, are you sure?
No, I get it. But can you tell when somebody has died? Do you actually get that information? Or is there something about the room, like, can you tell when somebody's died?
Not always.
Right.
Not always, because sometimes, like, we've been called to clean-ups where there isn't that much clean-up. You may have, like, a tiny little bit of blood.
Yeah.
And you haven't got that much clean-up. But obviously you've still got to carry out your same process as what you would do if you had, like, an extreme clean-up. And sometimes they do let us know.
Right.
Like, sort of how they passed or what's happened, but sometimes we get very minimal detail.
What's the hardest thing, do you think, Lauren? What never leaves you?
Suicides.
Yeah.
Suicides, because a lot of the time, like, people calculate their suicides, and we've been in some before where we found notes and we found, like, envelopes where they've actually left it and they've said, this is to go to this person, this is to this person.
And you've come across that?
We're the ones that find it first, and then we have to go back to the family and say, this is what we've come across.
It's a huge responsibility, isn't it?
It is, it is.
We underestimate that, I think.
Yeah. And those are the things that people don't actually realise. So when a loved one or a relative or whatever has passed away, it is difficult because people don't know that cleaners like us exist. So they end up having to deal with that trauma by themselves. Whereas hopefully with this documentary we can get the word out there and we can say, listen, you are in safe hands. There are
share
people,
that burden for them.
Yeah, we can take that element away from it for you and we can help you. So that's sort of, yeah.
You also find some weird and wonderful things sometimes as well, don't you? Didn't you find a cat in the freezer?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bit much.
Why was the cat in the freezer?
Because they couldn't let it go. They couldn't let it go.
The cat had died?
The cat had died.
Yeah.
The cat was dead.
Yeah. And there was somebody who was a hoarder, I think.
Yes.
The cat had died and they didn't want to let the cat go, so they put the cat in the freezer.
Would you put me in the freezer?
I'll keep you close at all times.
Excellent.
I won't let you go either.
But yeah, that was more of it. They didn't want to let it go. They just couldn't part with it. But I did sort of have to step in and say, this is not hygienic. You can't have this in there with your food in there as well. We need to... Can we go and bury it in the garden?
Yes, have a little ceremony.
Yeah, let's have a ceremony. And we very much did have a bit of a ceremony, and I was like, come on, we can do this. Like, let's do it together.
It's like a counselling
It
service
is,
as well,
it
Laura.
really
It's
is,
amazing,
isn't it?
absolutely amazing. It's been lovely to meet you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning. If you're scrolling on social media, you'll find it hard not to come across the Gaza twins.
Yeah, the pair are famous for their skincare advice, beauty tips and fashion hauls, but there's one small thing that makes them stand out. They're only 8 years old.
This is Daddy with a dream. Let's talk skincare. Get ready with us to go meet our teacher. Let's do a night routine. I'm thirsty. Refreshing. Next up, some blush. First, I'm gonna take off my eye patch. That's so smooth. My gosh, guys, I'm obsessed with my makeup. Look at that glow. Oh my gosh. OMG. Rub, scrub, dub. Well done. Nice and fresh. Gotta keep those wrinkles away. Go play outside. Okay. Wow, this was such a good idea. I know the lighting is so good out here. Thanks for the tip. So cute, guys. I'm obsessed.
So
cute.
Gorgeous.
So
Coty
cute.
and Haven Garza join us now from Oklahoma alongside their mum, Adria. Good morning, girls. Lovely to speak to you all. How are you doing?
Good.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure. Adria, tell us how this all started. What made you first think that you and the girls could create this extraordinary influencing empire?
Oh gosh, well, I never ever imagined that from the start. It really just started when the girls were babies. I would dress them up. They're twins, and so I liked to dress them in matching clothing. I would post pictures of the day.
Oh, wow.
And then when we were locked down during COVID, I had to find a new outlet to kind of do that. And so we started creating videos. That's the only reason I downloaded the TikTok app, was to create a video. At the time, it was the trend called Flip the Switch, where you switch places. And so Haven stood in with me and we did the Flip the Switch trend. I posted it just so that I can have it to share on my Instagram and Facebook with my friends and family. And when I logged back into TikTok about a week later, we had tens of thousands of likes and views and followers. It was insane.
Wow. And then from there, it developed more into cosmetics and skincare, right?
Well, they were 3 when we started. So yes, over time they've grown and developed new interests. And so then when they were about 6 years old, they started asking me if they could get moisturizer. And I was like, okay, sure. They saw me using it in the mornings. They wanted to get moisturizer. So I did some research into some skincare products that were going to be appropriate for their age. And we went shopping.
Haven, we're looking at some of these amazing little videos that you've made. Do you remember that first video that your mum asked you to make with her? And how did you feel making it?
Oh, I felt good making it because I thought I was like all famous.
So you felt like a bit of a star doing it?
Yeah.
And Coty, what happened to you? Because am I right in saying that you weren't really up for that first video?
You weren't really up for that first video, the Flip the Switch?
Oh, yeah, I was mad.
She was grouchy that day.
Grouchy that day. You
Oh,
made up for
I
it
see,
since.
I see. And what's it like when you go out and about? Do people recognise you now? Do they want to take selfies with you? Do they want to chat to you?
Yeah, like all the time when we just go out to public, they always just say, hey, can I have a picture?
And how does that make you feel?
Makes me feel good because like I'm that influencer, and I'm just the one
that they look up to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Coty, what do your friends say about what you two are doing online?
What do your friends say about it?
Oh, they don't really like do it as much because they play soccer. It's like a sport where you run and stuff.
Cody is more of the sporty girl, and then Haven is my dancer. And so I'd say Haven's friends probably tend more to want to do the beauty, skincare, makeup routines than Cody's.
It's interesting, Adria, because when we see them, they're still very much like little 8-year-old girls, and it's very charming. Actually, was that something that you purposely wanted to do?
No, not at all. It just kind of, like I said, evolved with time. I just listen to what they're interested in. And as their mom, I try to do my best to allow them to do that in a safe place. And so when they were interested in the skincare and beauty, I thought, well, who's a better teacher than myself? I'd rather them learn from me than some influencer online that may not be teaching them the right thing.
There's a lot of concern, isn't there, Adria, about young girls and not just young girls, young boys as well, but trying to get skincare routines with skincare that's not appropriate for their age. We spoke to Dr. Emma Edgeworth, who's a British cosmetic dermatologist, who said that any child who is prepubescent shouldn't have a complicated skincare routine. The skin is delicate, the skin is an organ, it has to last your whole life, you need to look after it. Complicated skincare routines affect the skin's barrier and lead to sensitivity and allergies. Base what you put on your child's face based on their needs rather than what they want because they've seen it online. And the reality is, for the girls, even though they're only 8, they are influencing other young girls as well. How do you make sure that what they're using is age appropriate and they aren't trying to promote things that isn't going to be correct for their friends and the people that follow them?
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. As our platform started to grow and they really started to become an influence, I wanted to make sure that we're educating our audience with what the right things are to use at certain ages and make sure they're using the correct products. And so I also consulted with a dermatologist. I've actually interviewed one for our podcast. The girls actually interviewed her for our podcast. And so our page is really just about self-love, self-care, and self-worth. And we try to do our best to educate our audience to know what is appropriate to use at this young age.
Adria, do you ever worry about featuring the girls online like that?
Well, I'm a mom, so I worry about everything, whether it's enrolling Cody in soccer and worrying about concussions, or Haven in dance, worry about her tearing something. So, of course, I worry, but I just do my best to protect them always. And we really just show very surface level parts of our life. So you're not seeing our day in, day out on social media.
Well, look, we appreciate you getting up super early to speak to us this morning. I've loved watching the videos, girls. They're really, as Kat says, they're very charming and fun.
Yeah.
Really, really good fun
We'll have to
watch.
send you some of our headbands.
Yes,
I feel like you need one of those.
I feel like I'm missing a headband. Have you both got to go to school now? Because you've been up very early. What's the plan?
They're going off to school. We're going to stop at Starbucks first, though.
For a bit of a treat.
There was a smile there from Cody. I love
Lovely.
that. Thank you all
Thank
for
you,
joining us
girls.
this morning. It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, hello.
Take care.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
And the great man Edwin joins us now alongside his daughters Diane and granddaughter Laura, who's responsible for most of the playlist, I imagine. Morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Edwin,
Good morning.
thank you for coming in. So singing's always been part of your life, hasn't it?
Yes, it has indeed.
Talk us when did you first start singing? And what
I was
did
a
you do?
little boy, choir boy in the church.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure one year, Christmas time, once in Royal David City.
Lovely.
One of the choir members, the kiddies, sing the opening verse. And one year I had the thrill of singing the opening verse as the choir and the clergy walked down to pray through the church.
And then you were in the RAF and you sang in the RAF, didn't you?
Well, I didn't join, I was conscripted in those days in the RAF. And for a little while they had a dance band on the station when I first went in, and I said, can I sing with you boys? And they said, yeah, sing with this. So I sang with the dance band.
Yeah.
Just a few songs, you know. And then, of course, I went abroad and spent a couple of years abroad and came back home, wanted to sing. So I took singing lessons. I went to Miss Violet Russell, L-A-R-M, for my singing lessons, and I spent about 2 years singing lessons, and I learned how to sing. I learned how to I was a tenor, and I learned how to reach the notes and whatever. And then from there, it went on, and I performed at Easter time, Olivet to Calvary and the Crucifixion and Messiah, and I was tenor soloist in these productions.
Yeah.
I hardly call them productions, but I was a tenor
Always
soloist.
been part of you then, isn't it?
Yeah. And I went on from there singing, and then I did quite a lot of acting, and I did pantomimes and all sorts of different things, singing all the time. There was one pantomime I was doing, and they had a group that were doing a little dance, and so the director said to me, Edwin, you get in the group and do the dancing. When she saw how I danced, which was absolutely awful out of step, she said, Edwin, I think you better move over there.
I was about to say it's a triple threat.
Very discreetly, she said to me.
So you've always been a performer then, really, your whole life from a young age. But, you know, 9 years ago, you did stop singing, didn't you, Edwin?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I lost my wonderful wife 9 years ago, who was so supportive and helped me with everything I did. And I just didn't want to know. I didn't want to sing. I didn't want to do anything, you know. Married for 60 years. My mum and dad and her mum and dad were friends. Actually, her mum and dad made my mother's wedding dress.
Right.
So I'd known Margaret all my life.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the 60 years we've been married, but it was all the years before we were married.
I mean, Edwin, you have racked up millions and millions of views. On your TikTok alone, you've got 9 million likes. You must, you know, be a local celebrity now, or even a worldwide celebrity, because this social media is everywhere. What do you think Margaret would have thought of it all?
Oh, she'd have been thrilled to pieces. She would, you know, wonderfully supportive. She would have been, and you know, I can't really say how supportive she was, and she would have been thrilled to pieces.
Oh.
Let's bring in Laura and Diane. So what got him back on the horse? What was it?
I think he says, and I totally believe this, he got a message from my mum saying, you must sing again.
Yeah.
You must do this again. You love it, you must do it. And so we found a local studio in Bournemouth, and we went along, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it just went from there, really. He started singing, thoroughly enjoyed it, knew that my mum was watching over him and was sort of supporting him. And he just carried on and on and on.
And then the new management and AR.
So, Laura, was it your idea to put your granddad on TikTok?
Well, Liv, my twin, initially said, why don't we do it? And then we sort of thought about it for a few days just because, you know, we were concerned whether it would land on the right side of TikTok, whether we would get nasty comments. But we thought, we presented it to Grandad, obviously, and everyone. And then we thought, yeah, why not? Let's just do it. Yeah, and it obviously has landed on the right side of TikTok.
Do you have any idea how much this would blow up?
Oh my gosh, no. None at all. We were hoping it would get just a few hundred likes, like his videos. But the first one, how many, Grandad? About 6,000 likes,
Something
I think
like
the first
that,
one got.
Couldn't believe it.
So we thought, oh yeah, we'll just keep
Somewhere over
posting.
the rainbow from
Yes.
yeah. And I was in a play. I was the lion in the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You know, years ago. That's the part I played in the Wizard of Oz. Sung a song in that. I can't remember what it was.
And Laura, and you and your twin Liv, do you sort of pick the songs that you think you should sing? And obviously you pick songs that are still in his range and his comfortable.
Yes. Well, Grandad obviously has the songs that he likes to sing, but for TikTok, we try to see what's sort of trending at the minute. Like a couple of years ago, the Sia Snowman was trending a lot, so we got him to do that. Yeah, we just sort of see what's sort of viral at the minute and present it to Grandad. Some of them he does, some of them he's not so keen on, so he doesn't do.
Edwin, what's been your favourite new modern song to sing? Video games, I thought was a...
Video games, yeah. To be honest with you, video games, some company wanted me to sing video games. I did. I hated every note of it.
Why? It's such a nice song and it's so comfortable.
It's had 3 million likes.
You've got to give the public what they want, Edwin. All right?
Well, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed it very much. So
You like it now, though,
Oh, I
don't
like
you?
it
You
now.
like it now.
Yeah, but, you know, I just can't remember. These girls give me these songs to sing, and they say, "There, Grandad, you've got to do this one. This is really going to town." I've never heard it before, so I get it, download the singer on the computer, you know, sing it about 1,000 times with the singer. So I get to tonight, then I get my backing track, which very often my studio guy, who is absolutely brilliant, Arthur in Sizzle Studios in Bournemouth, fantastic, will make a backing track for me. And then I will sing to the backing track. But it's not easy, I might tell you. Singing the songs I've always done, the Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra's, and, you know, the songs are easy to sing. You always get a little bit of lead, a little bit of, you know, the melody in the songs. But these ones today, you just don't.
Yeah.
Do Do you know what made me laugh this morning? So I asked everybody in the office, I said, where's Edwin then? They said he scooted past the office quicker than any guest we've ever had. They said, there is no slowing this man down. Yeah. Edwin, what's next for you? And what would you say to anybody out there that's thinking about taking on a new hobby like you have?
I would say to don't give up. I mean, old people, some play the piano and they stop playing the piano. So I say to them, get back and play the piano. Well, you're a singer, well, sing. Do you like doing this? Well, don't. Just because you're getting old, you're not getting old these days. Do what you want to do and don't give up. And you'll live another 20 years.
Yeah, but that's honestly, it's just brilliant.
I love that.
Not even advice, it's like a mission statement. Vote Edwin! Edwin, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, Diane. Laura, it's so good. We'd love you to perform for us now. Hopefully one of the songs you like. If you'd go and get ready over there on our stall, if you would, please. That'd be lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Edwin. Oh, I cannot wait.
Have a little round of applause for Edwin, please.
Thank you. There we go.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.